Chapter 17, 91, Mushroom Formation, Blast the Sky. Chapter 1791, Mushroom Formation, Blast the Sky. Everyone is tied down. Escape the God Rare sect. Humph, let's see if the person beside you is that lucky. Luo Wanhong laughed sinisterly. He had to do things recklessly. As long as the result was the same, he would not ask about the process. As long as the result was satisfactory, Zhang Sanqian did not hesitate to start a war with someone he wanted to protect. So he must kill that person. He was very clear what kind of person Zhang Sanqian was to be able to get him to desperately protect her. It could be seen that Long Fei was definitely not a simple person. Long Fei, what exactly are you hiding? Luo Wanhong squinted. Hoo. Long Fei panted heavily. Ever since he left the gates of the God Rare sect, he tried his best to run. He was very clear in his heart that Zhang Sanqian was protecting him. The more Zhang Sanqian protected him, the more power that boss would not let him go. So he had to use all of his power to break out of the God Rare sect's area of influence, because only by doing this could he keep his life. Before leaving the God Rare sect, he did not even come in time to inform the Bawanghua about his whereabouts, and did not even manage to find out where Mu Bing, Lu Qin, Lei Jiu, and the others were. Looking at the God Rare sect in the distance, Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. I will come back. Suddenly, there was a slight commotion in the distant forest. Desperate Man slightly said, Someone is chasing after us. Long Fei's heart tightened. Such a fast speed. Then let's see how fast you are. The idea moved. Long Fei planted a mushroom and then shouted out, I am here. Desperate Man did not understand. They were even more unable to understand why Long Fei would suddenly plant a mushroom that was half the height of a human. He couldn't understand it at all. Long Fei was also shocked by the gigantic mushroom. He never thought that mushrooms could be this big. Is this still called mushroom? This is a supergiant mushroom. If I plant this in a LOL game, I'll King blow up the computer screen. Long Fei's heart still had lingering fear. At this moment, 1 or 4 people rushed out of the woods. Looking at Long Fei, who was not far away, one of them immediately shouted, That's Long Fei. Kid, let's see where you can run to. While they were talking, the 4 of them rushed towards Long Fei at the same time. Long Fei stood in place and ridiculed. You fools want to kill this daddy? With your speed, isn't it too slow? Damn trash, scram to the side. Closer and closer. Closer and closer. Moreover, the 4 of them were all the elite disciples of the inner sect. His cultivation wasn't weak. As the pressure of 4 people pressed on him at the same time, Long Fei's body slightly sank. Long Fei cursed in his heart, but he did not retreat. Mushroom formation is really too cool. It's just that there are too few mushrooms. If you gave me 1,000 mushrooms, I would explode to the point where I wouldn't even recognize your mother. Long Fei muttered in his heart. After 3 days and 3 nights of dashing, Long Fei had already reached the depths of the mountain range, a place I didn't even know about. The only advantage he had was that he could clearly feel the auras of the demon beast in his surroundings. All right, it's time to level up. I hope I'll be rewarded with some mushrooms after leveling up. That'll be great. Long Fei said slightly, Desperate Man, I need your help next. Desperate Man said, Go ahead. Anyway, he couldn't leave Long Fei. The idea in his mind wouldn't let him leave. Being idle was also boredom. I might as well exercise for a while. Moreover, he discovered that there were too many unknowns and too many secrets on Long Fei's body. He kept having the feeling that there was an extremely strong connection between him and all of these. Regarding his identity, the control idea in his mind, He wanted to know with all his heart, and the only person who could give him the answer in this world was probably Long Fei. Right now, I need to hunt Demon Beast. I need to quickly hunt them down. Besides, when I don't say I'm going to help, I just want you to watch. Long Fei said he wanted to rely on his own strength. While he hunted, his strength, speed, and reaction all needed to be improved through this process. Practical experience was very important. Desperate Man nodded. Understood. Long Fei said, All right, now go attract the demon beast for me. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to go on a rampage. 2.5 months. God, rare sect. Big boss. I will definitely return. Wait. Chapter 1792. The Sumi Rings That Fake the Sky and Earth. Chapter 1792. The Sumi Rings That Fake the Sky and Earth rank was the foundation of everything. Level increase in strength, increase in speed, increase in defense, and increase in reaction speed. It was the same in the game. It was the same for Long Fei. The system that he had was the game system, and everything was based on the rules of the game. However, there was one thing that he couldn't give to others, which was leveling up. Practical experience. Only by slowly experiencing it in a battle of life and death would he be able to understand that this kind of combat experience was extremely important. This was the reason why Long Fei did not let Desperate Man help him kill monsters. He's here. Desperate Man warned and said, there are 3 3-star monster, 2 dead stars, and 1 5-star. The other 2 are star monster. Can you bear them? Long Fei's entire body was covered in blood. He was gasping for breath. The large wave of demon beast had drained most of his energy, and he was feeling extremely uncomfortable as he said faintly, I can't take it. I have to carry it. His right hand moved. The demon sword flashed with a red light, and in the next moment, Long Fei charged forward. Kill! Rumble! 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 The Desperate Man had disappeared, and all the demon beast charged towards Long Fei, pressing down with an overpowering momentum. Long Fei was not afraid. He just didn't want to be scared. He just wanted to be tough. 2 hours later, S' entire body was wounded, blood dripping all over, and his clothes were drenched with sweat. This kind of vivid fighting feeling made him feel indescribably satisfied and satisfied. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Yellow Star 2nd Order. Continue. After leveling up, Long Fei's health point, holy power value, and the wounds on his body all healed in an instant. He immediately roared out, Continue! Desperate Man was slightly astonished. He never thought that Long Fei would actually be able to kill him and level up. His consciousness seemed to have opened up a little. He felt as if he had seen Long Fei leveling up before, and he felt a little familiar with it. Could the person controlling his idea also level up like that? Desperate Man looked at Long Fei, who was rushing into the forest, and muttered to himself, It's you? Or was there someone else? Who was it? Who planted an idea in my sea of consciousness? Confusion. But the Desperate Man followed him. He believed that one day he would solve all the mysteries of the world, that he would know who he was, that he would know who controlled him. Rumble! Rumble! Come, all of you come to Laozi. Long Fei looked as if he had gone mad. The devil's sword in his hand even shined with a dazzling bloody light as he let out an excited howl. Kill! Ding, ding, ding! 2 days later. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Yellow Star rank 3. Continue. Long Fei killed the entire time, without resting at all. He only had 2.5 months, and in these 2.5 months, he had to return to the God Rare sect. There must be a reason for it, where his mother had been. If Mother allowed an ordinary small sect in the God Rare sect to become one of the 10 sects S, Then she would definitely make a name for herself in the 10-sex exchange. He wanted to go back the way your mother went, and know more about your mother. Long Fei wanted to know everything. That included whether her mother was the owner of the system. If she was, then she definitely knew who designed the system and developed it. If he could do it, he might be able to update the system to its most powerful state and destroy the heavens with a single move. 1 month passed. Rumble. When one of the 5-star monster fell, Long Fei would no longer be panting like before. It was also at this time. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 5-star monster, for obtaining 10,000 experience points, 1,000 god power, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, green star rank, level 1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up and obtaining a special reward. Hearing the words special reward, Long Fei's pupils suddenly tightened. He swallowed a lot of saliva and muttered, special reward, and also special reward. Give me the reward of 100 mushrooms. I don't want anything but 100 mushrooms. 9 levels in a month. The last special reward was 10 super mushrooms. Long Fei had incomparably saved up from 10 mushrooms, and every one of them were incomparably precious. Because the number of mushrooms was too small, they couldn't even create a big mushroom array. If he was given hundreds or thousands of mushrooms, Long Fei's mouth curved up, revealing a lewd smile. I can blast people into the sky. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward. The reward item is Sumi rings. Huh. Ring. Immediately, Long Fei was disappointed. What he wanted the most was Timo's mushroom. But, however, he gave her a small ring, and it seemed nothing out of the ordinary. Isn't Sumi rings just a space ring? What's the use of rewarding this thing? Long Fei was very unhappy. Anytime, he opened up the system to check the ring's attributes. After all, it was a reward from the system. According to common sense, the reward from the system would not be bad. Item: Sumi rings grade. Divine level description. Sumi rings can contain a region of heaven and earth. Description 2. Players can choose to enter the Sumi rings S. Ha! Looking at the description of the ring, Long Fei was a little stunned. What do you mean by one world? Could it be that you can still take down the heavens? This is too good at acting, isn't it? Look at how strong you say it is. Let's see how much you can take. Immediately, Long Fei moved his body, pointed to the huge mountain in the distance, and said, "First, put that mountain away." As soon as he finished, just as Long Fei was about to get angry, the Sumi rings moved and floated up to the air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With a few swishing sounds, the huge mountain peak in the distance slowly shrank before finally being sucked into the ring. The ring also returned to Long Fei's palm. Long Fei was dumbfounded. Holy shit, so fierce. It was a mountain that could not be seen, at least higher than the first peak on Earth, Everest, but it disappeared in the blink of an eye. This. Long Fei stood blankly in place for a long time, without being able to recover. The desperate man in the dark was even more confused. He dared to swear that he had never seen something like this before. The most important thing was not this place. The most important thing was Long Fei himself could still enter the Sumi rings. At this moment, his idea checked the ring and discovered that there really was a humongous mountain within the ring, and countless demon beasts were roaring within the ring. Long Fei laughed. He smiled proudly. From now on, you don't have to go out to level up. Why did it disappear again? Why did it disappear again? Where is the mountain? What about that mountain peak? What's going on? A good mountain can suddenly disappear. Senior sister, what do we do now? That mountain is our coordinates. Without it, how are we to find the Holy Abyss Cliff? That's right. In another place, a group of 6 disciples, all dressed in the attire of Xianyang sect disciples, led by a woman who was an unrivaled beauty, Nielin. The top 10 new disciples were ranked 3rd. A talented person, Nielin looked at the original position of the mountain peak. She did not understand either. Why did a good mountain suddenly disappear? Could it be that mountain peak had become a spirit? This time, she was bringing a mission with her, so she had to capture an 8-star war beast. Only by capturing an 8-star war beast would she be able to exchange for something she wanted. That mountain was her coordinates. Right now, the mountain peak had disappeared, and it wouldn't be long before they would get lost, and they wouldn't be able to find Holy Abyss Cliff at all. Nielin's brows slightly moved and said, "Let's not worry about that for now, and remember the direction of that mountain just now. Let's first go there, then we can talk. Even if it disappears into thin air, there will still be some traces left behind." Nielin made his decision quickly. There was only half a month left until the sect election. She had never entered the Xianyang sect before, so she thought that there was no problem with her powers. However, after entering the Xianyang sect, she realized that the senior brother was much stronger than she had imagined. She had to work even harder to get a place in the 10 sexes ranks for this exchange. "Let's go." Nielin ran into the forest like a vigorous cheetah. The surrounding 5 disciples quickly followed. The other one. 10 disciples is ranked 3rd, the genius disciple of Xianyang sect, and also the only woman in 10 disciples. You escaped last time, but this time, I will never let you go. People of the Xiaoyao Palace. Last time, one of the people being beaten down from the back of the Iron Hand Eagle by Long Fei was still alive. This time, behind him followed a dozen or so disciples of Xiaoyao Palace and a man who looked like an elder. 10 disciples had already gotten 3. If they could get Nielin back, this year's new disciples of the 10 sects would definitely get their hands on a new king. "Elder, we can attack at any time." The disciple walked up and respectfully said. The elder was also looking at the spot where the mountain had disappeared. Feeling curious in his heart, he regained his senses and said faintly, "Don't worry, the disciples of the Xianyang sect are out on a mission, and they are also one of the 10 disciples. They might be secretly protected by an elder, and other than that, I want to know what they do for a living. Follow them first. Don't alert the snake." The elder stroked his beard, thinking in his heart, "I've lived for over 100 years, but I've never seen something like this. What is it? Could it be that it was a demon beast? Impossible, right? Or is it that some major power has moved him away? How much power does this require? This is unbelievable." Half a day later, Nielin suddenly stopped, looked around, frowned, and said, "We're lost. In this kind of super dense forest, if one didn't have the coordinates, it was very easy to get lost, even if it was a superpower house. Senior sister, what do we do? Senior sister, why don't we go back? I'm already lost. It will be dangerous if I continue walking. I suggest that I go back first and make a detailed plan before coming over. After all, this mission still has half a month." Several disciples suggested. Nielin didn't want to give up and said, "How about this? The 5 of you go back first. I'll look for it myself. If I can't find it within 3 days, I'll also go back." "No way. Senior sister, it's too dangerous for you to be here alone." "Exactly. If you want to stay, then stay with us. We'll accompany you in your search for the next 3 days." Everyone said. Nielin felt slightly grateful in his heart and immediately said, "Thank you, everyone." "Senior sister, you are too polite. Without your guidance, we wouldn't have progressed so fast. Exactly. They had all received guidance from Nian Lin before, and within the short period of half a month, they had advanced by leaps and bounds. Nian Lin said, "Right now, with the mountain in the south as our coordinates, we will conduct a search and slow down. Everyone must be careful." Long Fei didn't know that because of a single sentence from him, that enormous mountain had disappeared, causing Nian Lin to lose his way. This ring feels so good. Ha ha ha. Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear. In the future, I don't need to go out to level, and the spirit grass and ores within the mountain are all mine. Ha ha ha. Long Fei moved. He said to another mountain, "Collect it for me as well." Ding. My holy power value is insufficient. Ding. System notification. Insufficient holy power value. Rub. When Long Fei thought about using Sumi Ring's holy power value, once the chrysanthemum suddenly tightened. Isn't this consumption a little too strong? Long Fei took out a large wave of divine spirit pills and swallowed them. Fortunately, I have a lot of divine spirit pills on me. Otherwise, I would really be a dead egg. Without the blue medicine, it was hard to move. As Long Fei swallowed the divine spirit pill, he was also thinking about how to make the Sumi rings sound the biggest. How big is a part of this world? Can you hold the entire Devil Island? Give it a try after I recover. How big was one side? It did not have a specific area, so Long Fei did not know either. It was a small universe on the surface, but there was a saying called 10 Directions Universe. After a good half a day, Long Fei finally filled up his holy power value. With his holy power value overflowing, Long Fei immediately became spirited. Let me see exactly how big one side is. Hee hee. Immediately, Long Fei moved his hand, put the Devil Island inside. The Sumi Ring's power dispersed. But, ding, system notification, insufficient holy power value. Huh. Long Fei took a look at his holy power value and said, "Not enough, your head. He's clearly in peak condition. How can it not be enough?" Suddenly, Long Fei's gaze tightened. Could it be that the holy power value of my 100,000 points is not enough to activate the Sumi rings? And if he prompts like this, then it means that the Sumi rings can continue stowing the Devil Island inside. How fierce is this? Isn't this too overpowered? Long Fei's blood seemed to be burning as he looked at the mountain peak on the other side and said, "I'll take you in." The Sumi rings moved. Long Fei giggled. Another mountain, so there must be a lot of demon beast inside, right? Ha ha ha. At this time, Nian Lin was confused again. Why did it disappear again? Chapter 1794. A Boss. Chapter 1794. A Boss. Table of contents. He couldn't understand it at all. Why did it disappear? And all of a sudden, he didn't make any sound at all. What was this? Nian Lin and a few other disciples were stunned on the spot, all of them with the same expression, stupefied. "Senior sister, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Senior sister, have we met with evil? You can't do this, right? Who's playing with us? Why did it disappear again? How could such a huge mountain disappear just like that? And there was no sign. If the disappearance of a mountain was an accident, then the disappearance of the second mountain was definitely not a coincidence. Immediately, Nian Lin immediately said, "From now on, enter battle mode." Everyone shivered. All of them had their eyes set on her. Nian Lin said, "I suspect that a super powerhouse is cultivating in this area. We might have already entered his consciousness range, so we must be careful." To be able to cause such a huge mountain to disappear, one could imagine how strong the attack was. It had to be some kind of almighty powerhouse. The other one, The disciples of the Yao Palace were the same, stupefied. That elder immediately followed up. Everyone be on your guard. There are powerhouse cultivating here. We can't afford to offend them. Understand? His heart trembled. Another giant mountain disappeared without a sound. It was either a supreme spatial cultivation technique or a world-destroying divine ability. Regardless of who it was that could control this power, they were definitely not mortals. They couldn't afford to offend him. At this time, one of the disciples asked, "Clan elder, then should we make a move on the disciples of Xianyang's sect?" The elder said, "They don't dare to move rashly either. We will stand guard here and wait for the powerhouse to leave before we make our move." They were all scared half to death. How could they not be afraid when the two mountains suddenly disappeared? He was scared to death. However, Long Fei had a lewd smile. "Ha ha ha. Another mountain has been accepted. With this ring, I won't have to worry about leveling up again. This is great." Long Fei was incomparably excited. He consecutively added 2 mountain peaks into the Sumi rings, and within the Sumi rings, the 2 mountain peaks were just like the little guy. But this ring's energy consumption rate is too high. Long Fei clicked his tongue. 100,000 points could be used once, but in order to store even more, a larger place like this, one would have to use an even larger holy power value. Long Fei's current limit was 100,000 points. Long Fei squatted on the side, and once again madly swallowed divine spirit pills. Half a day later, Long Fei said, "We will continue to hunt demon beast." He would kill the demon beast in the life, continuing ring when there was no demon beast to kill, and this way the leveling up would continue. The desperate man regained his senses and said, "There isn't a single demon beast in a 100-mile radius. How can we kill them? You've already taken away 2 mountain peaks in a row, not to mention the demon beast. Even people would be scared half to death." Demon beast? He was so scared that he ran away. Desperate man didn't even use his idea to sense it. Even if he encountered such a situation, his first reaction would be to escape. He would die if he was too late. Long Fei scratched his head and said, "Since that's the case, let's head deeper in." For a whole 2 days, Long Fei did not manage to kill a single demon beast. The disappearance of the 2 mountain peaks had a huge impact on the demon beast that was thousands of kilometers in radius. This allowed Nielin, who was quietly lurking somewhere, to calm down. "Senior sister, there haven't been any movements in 2 days. That powerhouse should have left by now, right? I think it's about time." "Senior sister, all the surrounding demon beast have gone. Do you think the demon beast that we are looking for also left?" A disciple asked worriedly. Nielin said slightly, "That land fire snake is hidden deep within the holy abyss cliff. It's still hibernating at this time of the year, so it's definitely not able to sense it. He should still be here." At this moment, a disciple ran back excitedly. "Senior sister, I found holy abyss cliff." Nielin's eyes shone with excitement, and everyone around revealed an expression of excitement. Nielin said, "We'll head over immediately. Great clan elder, Xianyang sect's people have moved. Looks like they found something." The disciples of the Yao Palace watched everything closely. Elder Xiao Yao said slightly, "There hasn't been any movement for 2 days. It seems that the powerhouse has left. Then it's time for us to make our move. Let's first follow them to the destination and see what they want to do." "Yes, sir." In another place, Long Fei was weak. His entire body was weak as he asked, "Are there still no demon beasts? I'm almost crippled." He had come here to level up, but now he had not even seen a single hair of the demon beast, which was a waste of 2 days. Time was too important to Long Fei. There was only a month left before the sect's general election, so he had to become stronger before that happened. However, Green Star Realm's cultivation base was not enough. Even some of the more talented disciples couldn't beat him. Desperate Man's aura slightly shook, and she said, "There's a demon beast." Long Fei's gaze immediately became anxious, and she became excited. Where is it?" Desperate Man said slightly. "This demon beast is a little different, and also, your level is pretty high. I'm afraid your strength." Long Fei was about to drool, and said, "What's different? How high is your level?" Desperate Man said, "This demon beast is a war beast. Moreover, he is a level 8 war beast, a landfire snake. This is a monster." "Rob, I just heard from you that this guy is the boss I'm going to wait for." Long Fei became even more excited. In just a month, although Long Fei had risen to the 9th level, he had not done so yet. The rate of explosion from killing these demon beasts was outrageously low. Not even a single strand of hair was found. Even if he had metamorphic energy value, he wouldn't be able to use it. Now, he finally encountered a boss. Good days are coming. Long Fei was incomparably excited as he immediately asked, Where? Desperate Man looked at the cliff in front of him and said, "It's in the abyss below the cliff, and also." Desperate Man frowned slightly. He felt that other than the landfire snake's aura, there was also a very special aura hidden in the abyss. Moreover, he could not discern if it was a demon beast or a beast from this aura. Even this aura was like the aura of a human. Fairy beast. That's not right. Why? I have a very familiar feeling. What is this? Desperate Man did not understand. This aura gave him an inexplicable sense of familiarity. In the Holy Abyss Cliff, Land Fire Snake were only guardian beasts. Further in, a huge crane, flying crane. Chapter 1795. Sitting down. Chapter 1795. Sitting down, Desperate Man did not voice his doubts, because he also wanted to go down and find out what else was hidden down there. Long Fei walked to the edge of the cliff, looked at the bottomless abyss, and was a little troubled, and said, "How do we go down?" His current cultivation level was still not high enough to fly in Devil Island. How deep was the abyss that was so deep? It was not clear. Unless there was a flying war pet, they basically could not go down. That's awkward. Long Fei tried to change places several times, but still could not find the bottom of the abyss, nor any way to go down. At this moment, "Caw!" a sharp eagle cry sounded out. A group of people stood on the back of the Iron Hand Eagle and rushed down directly into the abyss. Both of Long Fei's eyes were slightly startled as he looked at the person on the Iron Hand Eagle's back and asked, "Isn't that woman Bixian Yang Sex Nielin?" Long Fei could never forget beautiful women. "Don't tell me they're also after the boss." Long Fei's gaze tensed up. "Although you're a beauty, I can't let you snatch the boss away." Just as Long Fei was about to jump in, at another place, 3 Iron Hand Eagles swooped down to the abyss. They didn't see the rest clearly, but Long Fei could see the attendants on their bodies very clearly. Xiao Yao Palace. Damn, they really are haunting us like ghosts. Could it be that their goal is also... No, they should be here following Nielin, and their target should be her. Long Fei's heart tensed up. You dare to have ideas on beauties? To be met by me is your misfortune. Immediately, Long Fei slightly said, "Scholar, you think of a way yourself. I'm leaving first." Finished. Long Fei took a step forward and immediately jumped into the abyss. The wild wind howled. The speed of his free fall created a huge friction with the air, making him extremely satisfied. Long Fei bellowed with all his might, "Ah!" Even the Desperate Man was stunned. Is Long Fei crazy? Jumping down all of a sudden without a single flying war beast. It was as if he was courting death. He was secretly worried. With a slight movement, an extremely long sword appeared in his hands. He landed on the sword and charged straight down. At this time, he was stunned again. I can ride the sword? He didn't even know it. When did you learn sword kinesis flight? The only thing he had left now was to catch up with the free fall of Long Fei. Otherwise, if Long Fei did not smash him into a meat patty, he would definitely become a meat patty. Wallala, wallala, wallala. The fierce wind blew past his ears, and his eardrums were about to burst. Furthermore, Long Fei was facing downwards, so he had to clearly see the distance he was from the ground, because only then would he be able to calculate the time he needed. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The desperate man quickly chased after him. I sensed it. There's a super war beast in this abyss. Their goal is that war beast, the one in deep sleep. The Xiao Yao Palace elder said, excitedly, Elder, look, there are words written on the wall. A disciple pointed at the rock wall. 3 huge words were carved on the wall. Holy Abyss Cliff. Holy Abyss Cliff. The Xiao Yao Palace elder looked at the 3 words Long Fei said with his phoenix dancing before locking his eyebrows. Holy Abyss Cliff. Why does this place sound so familiar? An old man beside him said, Elder, this place is very close to God Rare Sect. This Holy Abyss Cliff was discovered by God Rare Sect 1,000 years ago, and there is a Immortals Cave mansion inside, and it was also because of this that God Rare Sect quickly rose up. Yes, it's here. The God Rare Sect relied on the flying goddess and this treasure to rise up. However, no one knows where the Holy Abyss Cliff is, so they never expected to be discovered by us today. Ha ha ha. The Xiao Yao Palace elder laughed out loud. I'm afraid the thing inside is gone. That's not right. 1,000 years had passed, and all the things inside the Holy Abyss Cliff had probably been taken away by the God Rare Sect, but when he thought back, he immediately felt that something was amiss, because if this Holy Abyss Cliff did not have any treasures, the land fire snake would definitely not be sleeping here. It was a guardian beast, and it definitely had something to protect it. And this kind of super war beast guarding object might even be a giant treasure. Thinking about that, the Xiao Yao Palace elders became red. Their eyes flashed with excitement, and they shouted, Move forward at full speed. You must have the guts to rush to the front of the people from Xianyang sect. One of the disciples asked, Clan elder, what about Nielin? The Xiao Yao Palace elder sneered. If she doesn't have any treasures, then her life is naturally worth some money. But there must be some great treasures below us, so I am not the least bit interested in her life. Kill. That disciple immediately nodded his head and said, Understood. And then the 2 Iron Hand Eagle quickly chased after Nielin's Iron Hand Eagle. Senior sister, it's the people from the Xiao Yao Palace. On the back of the Iron Hand Eagle that Nielin was on, Nielin frowned. They also discovered this Holy Abyss Cliff. Prepare to fight. Nielin quickly responded. No matter what, he couldn't be caught by the Xiao Yao Palace this time. After being captured by the Xiao Yao Palace's people last time, Nielin had a lingering fear in her heart. If not for Long Fei's appearance, she would have been controlled by the Xiao Yao Palace's people already. He would never be able to recover. Attack. Whoosh whoosh. Asterisk Xiao Yao Palace's Iron Hand Eagle 2 pieces of bread came out. It was incomparably fast. Nielin controlled her Iron Hand Eagle and shouted, Hold tight. Shua. His speed dropped, and he suddenly accelerated, dodged the clip with speed. However, at this moment, the sky darkened. Senior sister, there's a falling stone above your head. A 3rd Iron Hand Eagle appeared, its claws grabbing a few gigantic rocks. Nielin dodged once again. The boulder fell into the abyss. The other 2 Iron Hand Eagle came up once again. This time, they couldn't dodge. It was already too late to react. Nielin did not panic. The idea slightly moved, and a faint golden light, a golden formation, and a spirit communication formation appeared beneath her feet. As long as they got close, she would make their iron hand eagle betray instantly. Senior sister is here. She could only control one of the eagles. As for the other one, Nielin's brows tightened and said, "Hold tight." She was ready for the impact. However, at this crucial moment, he said, "Out of the way, out of the way, get out of the way. I'm going to fall down." A person fell from the sky, face down. There's someone here. Why would someone jump down? Is this person crazy? Damn, 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 damn. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it. Damn you, can't you move away a little? Holy sh**T. I can't dodge anymore. Long Fei kept cursing in his heart, causing the idea to move. Holy Spirit defense. Bam! A iron hand eagle was smashed down. Chapter 1796. Using life to fight for life. Chapter 1796. Using life to fight for life. How big is the impact from falling from a height of over 10,000 meters? It was like a bomb. On the other hand, the iron hand eagle was like an airplane. After hitting its back, its bones cracked, and it was instantly shot down. Rumble! Caw! Rumble! Help! After a few miserable cries, the iron hand eagle fell into the bottomless abyss. Nielin's reaction was fast. With a slight movement of his powerful spirit, his idea near the other iron hand eagle moved instantly, and that iron hand eagle suddenly flipped, and directly threw all the disciples of the Xiao Yao Palace off their backs. It let out a loud scream and flew out of the abyss. Whew! Nielin let out a light breath. In her hand was a strange bead. As she put it away, her face was slightly flushed. Thank God! Who was that person? Senior sister, who's going to jump down from above? Nielin shook his head and said, I know as well. However, Nielin had a familiar feeling in his heart. Why does this voice sound so familiar? Have you heard it somewhere? Long Fei's falling speed was too fast. He couldn't see it clearly at all. One of the disciples said, We really had to thank him earlier. Otherwise, the one who would have died would have been us. He must be dead if he falls from that height. This guy is crazy. Yeah, even a fool wouldn't jump down from such a high place. Several disciples began to discuss with each other. Nielin looked at the other iron hand eagle in the sky. The patriarchs of the Xiao Yao Palace did not launch any more attacks. There was only one iron hand eagle left now. And if it was gone, they would not be able to leave even if they managed to obtain treasures. Therefore, he did not attack. As for his dead disciple, he didn't take them seriously at all. And then there was Long Fei. He crashed into the iron hand eagle's back. Although he had Holy Spirit defense's protection, his face still almost became distorted. Blood gushed out of his nose. And now he was not worried about that, but about colliding with the ground. Holy Spirit defense only had 3 minutes. If he didn't reach the ground within 3 minutes, he would really turn into a meat patty. F***CK. This is all for naught. Long Fei tried his best to maintain a movement of least friction as he quickly rushed to the ground, praying in his heart, Buddha, please bless me. Big Sister Guanyin, bless me. May the old master bless you. I don't want to die yet. Long Fei was extremely nervous. At the same time, Desperate Man was even more nervous than him. His brain felt like it was about to explode from the force as he crazily urged and commanded him. He was already worried about Long Fei's attack just now. He was even more worried now. Elder, a white light flashed. Where's the white light? Who else has the speed of Iron Hand Eagle? Elder Xiao Yao also did not see it clearly. Senior sister, I think there was a flash of white light just now. I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. Desperate Man was too fast. Even if they saw it, they would feel that they were seeing things. Nyat Lin also did not see it clearly. She had been wondering who that voice could be. He didn't pay much attention to what was happening around him. Holy Spirit defense time. 1 minute 11 seconds. Your sister, why aren't you finishing this quickly? Long Fei panicked a little. At this point of time, he could do whatever he wanted. He did not have any defensive techniques. Nothing. Hurry up and get there. As time passed second by second, Long Fei's chrysanthemum grew closer and closer. It felt like his life was being counted down. This feeling, it was too hard. A bit more time passed. There are only 20 seconds left. Brother, can you give me some face? Hurry to the end. Long Fei's nose was bleeding, his eyes wide open, not daring to move. At this moment, rumble, a huge rumbling sound came from the abyss below. The rocks started to crack, and that was the sound of the rocks smashing down. Long Fei did not think much of it, but at this moment, suddenly, a red light shone from the depths of the abyss, and it was getting more and more dazzling and intense. The surrounding temperature was also increasing. What the hell is this? Long Fei's heart tightened. Could it be that this abyss is a volcanic crater? Just now, when the rock was shaking, this volcano was going to erupt? F***CK. Are you thinking that my death isn't tragic enough? F***CK. I'll fight it out with you. Long Fei was going all out. The fact that he could see the flames meant that he was close to the ground. However, the further Long Fei went, the more shocked he became. The magma can still move. Why are there even flame scales? It's a huge fire dragon. That's not right. Long Fei thought about what the desperate man had said. Fuck, the land fire snake was woken up. Rub. Sure. Maybe. The corner of Long Fei's mouth raised slightly. He thought of an evil scheme and couldn't help but become excited. This level 8 beast was extremely powerful. Maybe his experience points was enough for him to level up. If that's the case, because of the leveling effect, he would be able to come back to life from the gates of hell. It was decided. Long Fei was very crazy. He was mad, afraid of even ghosts. Bring it on. Long Fei stared at the land fire snake that was slowly awakening, hit a snake and hit it until it's 7 inches long. Since you're so big, 7 inches away should be your head. Come on. Whoosh, 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 asterisk. Senior sister, there's a fire below. Nia Lin's face tightened and said, Oh no, the land fire snake has awakened. She was well prepared before she came. I have also thought about the land fire snake as big move. Immediately, Nia Lin immediately said, Take the flame avoiding pill. All disciples quickly followed his instructions. It was the same for the disciples of Shao Yao Palace, who were high above. There were also people who consumed flame-avoiding pills, but there were some disciples who did not, and were trembling on the back of Iron Hand Eagle. The desperate man continued to rush downwards. His speed became faster and faster, almost as fast as lightning. Seeing the flames which were growing more and more dazzling, the consciousness in his mind trembled. He was incomparably afraid, and desperate man could clearly feel that consciousness being incomparably worried about Long Fei. Faster. The desperate man madly rushed down. At this time, Holy Spirit defense still had 3 seconds. Drip. A second passed. Drip. Yet another second passed. At the last second, the land fire snake suddenly opened its eyes, and in that moment, Long Fei's fist shot out. Using all his strength to leave the place, he slammed down heavily onto the ground. Come. I'll kill you. Holy Spirit defense blocked 99% of the attacks. However, Long Fei could not even withstand 1% of the power of the attack, and his health point was dwindling crazily, causing him to be unable to withstand the damage. But Long Fei was not afraid. A life for a life. The impact of falling from tens of thousands of meters in the air brought forth by his fists heavily crashed down. If you don't die, then I'll die. Chapter 1797, Immortal Underground Palace. Chapter 1797, Immortal Underground Palace. Rumble. A loud, deafening sound. Just as the land fire snake woke up, it did not have time to react before its head was struck ruthlessly to the ground by a shock wave. It did not have the time to react at all. His head was splitting open. Its huge body collapsed with a loud bang. With a swoosh, the long gash on the top of his head also disappeared. At the same time, Long Fei's health point was also rapidly decreasing, leaving him with only 10 points. His entire body was burnt, and he was in unbearable pain. His life could be said to be hanging by a thread. However, he won the bet. Rumble. The moment the land fire snake fell, the system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing land fire snake, for obtaining 1 million experience, 100,000 holy power value, and 1 energy values. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Fire Serpent Berserk Dance. Do you wish to practice it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Earth Flame Berserker Blade. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The system beep kept on ringing. The instant after he leveled up, all of the injuries on Long Fei's body recovered. His health point recovered, and he let out a long sigh. I've never felt so good about leveling up before. How wonderful! The boulder in Long Fei's heart fell. He almost thought that he was going to die, really just a little more. The feeling of death strangling his throat was truly unbearable. Looking at the 2 items that the land fire snake had dropped, Long Fei smiled faintly. Is it a technique or a weapon? The abnormal value could only be released once. One couldn't choose a weapon just by choosing a cultivation technique. I've chosen this cultivation technique many times. I'll choose a weapon this time. Earth Flame Berserker Blade. Long Fei moved his body and sent his metamorphic energy value into the Earth Flame Berserker Blade. Boom! The Earth Flame Berserker Blade combusted. At this moment, the system beeped. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Fire Dragon Knife plus 100. A large blade, over 2 meters long, was completely burning, and the flames were like a fire dragon. This was only the shape of a fire dragon knife. What was truly terrifying was the attribute of plus 100. It was already quite good to be able to raise the quality of a weapon to plus 10 in the game. The plus 20 had never appeared before. As expected of metamorphic energy value. He's abnormal. He's awesome. Ha ha ha. Although Long Fei did not take out the fire dragon knife, he had already felt its imposing aura, and its attribute was also extremely strong, like lightning. Awesome! Killing a boss is great. Long Fei became excited. He didn't care about how dangerous, it was just now. If he didn't accept it now, he would do it. Who would be afraid of him? Once the land fire snake died, its body slowly burned, and the flames gradually weakened. Long Fei took a look at his surroundings and discovered that there was a gigantic stone door not far ahead. There were a few words written on the stone door. The first few words had fallen off, but the last 2 were very clear. Underground Palace. Could it be someone's tomb? Long Fei trembled slightly. If even the guardian beasts are this strong, then would there be even more powerful demon beastess in the tombs inside? 1 rank up, this feeling. It feels so good. In the tomb of the powerhouse, there might be more treasures. Let's go. Let's go in and take a look. At this moment, the desperate man descended, looked at the land fire snake's charred corpse, then looked at the unharmed Long Fei. He was a little unable to react. When he saw Long Fei walking towards the main entrance of the underground palace, he immediately said, "Don't go in." At first, he only felt a familiar aura from above, but he couldn't remember what it was. But now, he felt another presence here, an abnormally savage aura. Within the underground palace, Long Fei said, "Since you're already here, it's not good if you don't go in." He wanted to level up. If all the demon beast in the underground palace felt as good as a land fire snake, then wouldn't it be like flying when he leveled up? Who could stop him? Desperate Man still wanted to say something, but after sensing the auras of Nielin and the others, his body stealthily disappeared. Long Fei heard his voice resounding in his head. "Don't go in. It's extremely dangerous inside." Boom. Boom. When the Iron Hand Eagle landed, the disciples of the Xianyang sect jumped over, and all of them were stupefied when they saw the ball of land fire snake corpses rolled up into a ball. "Senior sister, the land fire snake is dead. This time, I won't be able to complete the mission." What a waste of time. They had come for the land fire snake, and now that they were dead, they could not complete the mission. Nielin's heart sank as well. Land fire snake was a superstar level 8 beast. He could only control it while it was asleep using Psychic's head. However, just then, the land fire snake clearly woke up, but it suddenly died. Nielin walked to the back of Long Fei and hugged his arms lightly, saying, "Senior." Long Fei turned around and looked at Nielin and laughed. "I am not some senior. It's you." Nielin was overjoyed. He saw a kind of special surprise on Long Fei's face and said, "I was wondering why the voice just now sounded a little familiar. So it's you. I didn't expect you to become so strong in just a month." Nielin felt Long Fei's cultivation. His heart was shocked. From an 8-star to the current green star realm. This speed, faster than flying. Nielin thought, seems like he is going to be 10 sex exchanges rival this year. God, rare sect looks like he is going to rise again. Regardless of whether it was a coincidence or not, to be able to kill a land fire snake and do it in such a short period of time, it clearly showed how strong Long Fei was. A disciple of the Xianyang sect asked, "Who is the senior sister?" Nielin said, "He is the god rare sect that I mentioned to you before. His name is Long Fei." All of the disciples cupped their fists and said politely, "Senior brother Long Fei." Long Fei laughed and said, "What are you two doing here?" Nielin looked at the land fire snake's corpse and laughed bitterly. "Land fire snake, I didn't expect to be killed by you. We've been busy for the past half-month for nothing. I wonder how you killed him." Nielin really wanted to know. Long Fei laughed and said, "The power of its fall is too great. I have crushed it to death with my, but, Puchi, he. Several female disciples laughed out loud. Long Fei said, "I did not expect to spoil your mission. However, since you came here to complete a mission, you should know whose tomb this is, right?" Long Fei pointed to the entrance of the underground palace. Nielin's expression tensed up. There was originally an underground palace? Nielin walked forward and muttered to himself. Holy Abyss Cliff was discovered by Flying Goddess. Legend has it that this place was hidden in an immortal's cave. I didn't expect it to be an underground palace. The goddess of soaring sky discovered it. Long Fei's pupils slightly twitched. Then I must enter. Mother, what surprises do you have for me this time? Chapter 1798. Is this old lady's chest small? Chapter 1798. Is this old lady's chest small? Enter. If Long Fei had still been hesitant a second ago, he would have already been trapped in the underground palace, where his mother had come from. He had to go in, even if there were dangerous demon beasts inside. He had to go in. Nie Lin looked at Long Fei and said, 1,000 years have passed, and the things inside this underground palace have probably already been moved away. If we go in, we won't be able to find anything. Legend has it that the reason why the god Rare sect was able to rise in power was mostly because of the various powerful immortal equipment that the flying goddess provided, spirit treasures. And the reason why the flying goddess was able to provide all of these was because she had brought them from the immortal palace. Was there something else in the palace? It should have been gone a long time ago. Long Fei said, "How would we know if we don't go in?" Nie Lin looked at Long Fei, smiled slightly, and said, "You're really fearless." A disciple of the Xianyang sect said, "Senior sister, let's go." "I agree. There's always a strange aura here. It's very dangerous. Let's leave." The disciples of the Xianyang sect all let Nie Lin leave, and Nie Lin himself felt that the underground palace was filled with an evil aura. However, Nie Lin said, "Since the mission has failed, we cannot go back empty-handed. Since we have already come, let us go in and see. Maybe we will find something special and pay our respects to Senior Flying Goddess. Let's go. Enter." Nie Lin took a step forward, and by this time, Long Fei had already walked toward the entrance of the underground palace. Nie Lin looked at Long Fei's back. "You're just a mysterious man, yet you dared to come here to take this risk alone. How strong are you exactly? You will definitely become a formidable opponent of the Xianyang sect." She wanted to understand more about Long Fei, because she would definitely meet Long Fei at the 10 Great Sect Exchange, and at that time, she wouldn't panic anymore. A forbidden area for living people. Those who enter will die. There were a few words carved on the entrance of the underground palace. Long Fei said, "If even someone came out alive, how can they still die?" Finished. Long Fei pushed on the door with both of his hands, putting strength into his arms. "Open for me." Tens of thousands of tons of stone doors were over 100 meters tall and incomparably huge, and it was actually somewhat strenuous for Long Fei alone. Nie Lin ran up and stuck both of his palms onto the stone door. Only then did the stone door slowly begin to spin. Crack! Crack, crack, crack! A small crack appeared on the stone door. At this moment, a black aura diffused from it, making it not very conspicuous in the darkness. More and more. In that instant, the black chi formed 2 ghost hands. "Senior sister, be careful. Be careful." Shua. Before they had time to react, Long Fei and Nie Lin were directly grabbed by the 2 ghost hands. With a swirl of the black mist, they were directly dragged into the underground palace. Desperate Man flashed with a white light. He rushed in after her. All of Xianyang sect's disciples rushed forward. However, the door was shut once again. No matter how hard they tried, they could not open it. "Senior sister, senior sister. Did you hear us? Senior sister." There was no response. At this moment, the people of Xiao Yao Palace descended. He then looked at the not-so-distant entrance of the underground palace and revealed an excited smile. Indeed, Holy Abyss Cliff's immortal abyss in the place where Flying Goddess's power rose is located. "It seems that it's my turn to rise. Ha ha ha. Capture the Xianyang sect's men first. Open the door for me again. We want to go in and soar into the sky." Elder Xiao Yao revealed an excited smile. The reason why Flying Goddess was called Flying Goddess was because he had discovered the immortal Abyss Cave. It was only because she had obtained some sort of immortal legacy that she was able to soar to the heavens. There must be treasures hidden inside. He firmly believed in this. And then there was Long Fei. After being grabbed by the ghost hand, He was dragged into the abyss at an extremely fast speed. He didn't even have time to react. Nialin was the same. It was as if he had fallen into a bottomless abyss. Their consciousness also gradually faded away. It took a while for both of them to wake up, but he woke up in another place, in an extravagantly decorated room. Long Fei was dressed in a bright red groom's uniform. Sitting in front of him was Nialin, who had a red veil over his head. Huh, what's going on? Long Fei was shocked. I got married. Nialin also suddenly woke up. He lifted the hood over his head, looked at Long Fei, and then looked at himself. Long Fei shook his head and said, I don't know, I just woke up like this. Nialin asked, why are we wearing this kind of clothes? Who changed our clothes? Will it? In the end, a woman was still a woman. What she thought about was always different from a man. She was worried that her body had been exposed. Long Fei comforted her. Don't worry. And then he walked to the door and was about to open it, but the moment he touched the door, boom! His body bounced back. He could not control his strength at all. Long Fei's heart trembled. An array formation was placed on the door. A formation can even be set up on the door. Nialin took a step forward and said, let me try. She walked forward carefully, her hand gently touching it, and in that moment of contact, her body was also blown away, and Long Fei's hands quickly grabbed onto her. However, his hand was in a place that shouldn't be his chest. Long Fei hurriedly said, I'm sorry, I didn't manage to touch anything. Nialin was not angry at the beginning because Long Fei also wanted to protect her. But when Long Fei said, I did not manage to touch anything, she became displeased. He glared fiercely at Long Fei. Moreover, he subconsciously puffed out his chest as if to say, is my chest not big? Long Fei did not see the underlying meaning and thought that she was angry that he had touched a place that he should not have touched. He immediately changed the topic and said, this door was set up with an array formation, right? Nialin withdrew his thoughts and said, Amen, there's an incomparably powerful formation. Following that, Long Fei and Nialin had tried to use the same window a few times, and the moment they had the slightest of contact, they would bounce back. 1 hour later, the two of them sat back on the bed, panting heavily. Long Fei asked, just what is the situation like? Are we really going to die here? What is this place? Nialin's brows were also locked together, and he said, why would such a thing appear in the immortal Earth Palace? Long Fei looked around seriously once again and said, this room seems to have been arranged for us to get married and even to be sent to the bridal chamber. I think so. He had just finished. Nialin stared at him intently. Her murderous eyes stared straight at him. If you dare touch me, I'll cut your head off. Chapter 1799. Ghost Carriage. Chapter 1799. Ghost Carriage. Long Fei pressed his legs together and tightened his chrysanthemum, then immediately laughed. Just a joke to ease your nervous anger. Why are you being so serious? Besides, if you are willing, I am not. Who knows how many eyes there are outside of this room? What if this damn time has something similar to a camera and the image of the bed being rolled around is recorded on a disc? I don't intend to enter the AV world. Even though it was always my dream back then to be able to XXX and now I have none at all. Long Fei muttered. Nialin didn't understand at all. What XXX? What AV? What I don't know anything. If she knew, she would be furious. Nialin rolled his eyes at Long Fei as he sat on his bed and started to slowly ponder. Long Fei was very straightforward as he directly lied down on the bed and fell into a deep sleep. He hadn't rested properly for over a month deep in the mountain, and when he saw the bed and the soft blanket, he couldn't help but feel sleepy. He said lightly, Think about the way out. I'll sleep for a while. Lying on the bed, under the covers, he fell asleep immediately. Not long after, there was a light snoring sound. Nye Lin looked at Long Fei, who was standing to the side, and said, "You still have the mood to sleep at a time like this?" Long Fei did not respond. He had thought of countless ways to get out of this room, but none of them worked. Since he was determined not to go out, he might as well save some brain cells, save some physical strength, and take a good rest. After all, this door would open sooner or later. "Mother, is this your plan? Do you want me to get married earlier?" But, as you can see, this girl is a tigress. She's not to be trifled with. I can't possibly use a strong one, can I? Besides, even if I am strong, I won't be able to defeat him. Long Fei's mind was muttering to himself. Nye Lin's cultivation was much stronger than his. Moreover, she wasn't like Guoling. She was extremely cautious, and she had been deliberately concealing her strength the entire time. If Long Fei didn't use the blasting fist, she definitely wouldn't be his opponent. Once the blasting fist was used, Nye Lin would become a dead person. Forget it. It's better not to think about it. Let's sleep for a while first. I wonder how Desperate Man is doing. Long Fei was a little worried. In that instant, he could feel the Desperate Man rushing in. However, where is it now? Hey. Wake up. Wake up. After sleeping for an unknown amount of time, Long Fei was shaken awake by Nye Lin. He glanced at her and said, "What? Have you made up your mind? Do you want to enter the bridal chamber with me?" Nye Lin opened his eyes wide and immediately had a murderous look in them. Long Fei immediately quivered and said, "What I said just now was just a dream, and I'm not completely awake yet." "Did you discover something?" Nye Lin said, "I just heard the wind outside." Long Fei originally wanted to get up, but he fell down again and said, "You heard the sound of the wind, so why did you call me out? Don't tell me you want this world to be devoid of wind. The sound of the wind is very special." Howl. It's a strong wind. Why would there be wind in this underground palace?" Nye Lin said, as he shook Long Fei. Long Fei casually said, "Whose word is that, right? There won't be any rumors in the underground palace." "Then that must have been a ghost's breath just now." "Huh." Nye Lin cried out in alarm, and her body started to tremble uncontrollably. She drew closer to Long Fei and said, "Do you really think there's a ghost in the underground palace?" Long Fei replied, "There's no ghost in the underground palace. Where is the ghost? Those who are unable to enter the infernal realm are all evil spirits, and many of them are lecherous ghosts." Nye Lin's face turned slightly pale. At this time, the candle flame in the room swayed gently, and another gust of wind blew. Sinister, she immediately hugged Long Fei tightly. His eyes were closed. Suddenly, he was hugged by Nye Lin, causing Long Fei to jump in fright. He turned his head and looked at her with a scared expression, then said, "Damn, you, a mighty 10 disciples like you, are ranked third. Are you afraid of ghosts?" Nye Lin said, "Don't say that." "What word?" "Ghost." Long Fei said. Nye Lin was even more afraid. She was not afraid of heaven or earth, but she was afraid of ghosts, especially in the dark. Not only was she captured, she was even seen by Long Fei in such an embarrassing situation. This was her weakness. Long Fei became excited and said, "There are many types of ghosts in this world, split into male, female, hanging ghost, pervert." "Stop talking. Stop it," Nye Lin asked with his eyes closed. Long Fei really did not think that Nye Lin would actually be afraid of this. He was someone who had even been to the underworld before, an impressive person who had even been killed by the King of Hell. "Do you want me to tell you the appearances of those evil ghosts in the underworld?" Long Fei perked up and said, Those fellows are getting more and more ferocious and uglier and uglier. Nia Lin trembled even more, hugging onto Long Fei. He didn't let go. Long Fei's words were full of energy, but right at this moment, another gust of wind blew past. Long Fei's brows suddenly tightened. Ghost blows out the light. That's not right. When the gentle breeze blew into the room, Long Fei could clearly feel the room trembling slightly. Although it was not intense, Long Fei could still clearly feel it. Could it be that this room is moving? Long Fei's heart tensed up. He let go of Nia Lin's hands and walked down the bed, his ears touching the ground. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, he heard a very faint sound that sounded like the sound of leaves rubbing against each other. He's really moving. Long Fei's face shook. Just outside the house, 16 tall and sturdy, malevolent-looking ghosts were carrying a gigantic palanquin as they flew through the dark void. Ghost carriage. His speed was extremely fast. Because it was extremely smooth, it was very difficult for Long Fei, who was in the sedan, to notice it was moving. Nia Lin said, "What did you discover?" Long Fei said, "We are flying." Nia Lin asked, "What do you mean?" Long Fei said, "We are not inside the room, but inside a gigantic palanquin. The people outside are probably not people, I think. We're sending it to a place." Nia Lin asked, "Where?" Long Fei lied. Ghost King City. He really was making it up, but half an hour later, on top of a huge ghost city, the words Ghost King City were written in large letters. Secret World of the Underground Palace. Ghost King City. Long Fei and Nia Lin were a gift to the Ghost King. Nia Lin trembled inwardly and said, "Then what should we do?" In his heart, Long Fei was secretly glad that he did not use the blasting fist to kill the land fire snake. Otherwise, he would be done for. "Boss, I'm here." Ghost King City. On the other side, there was a person wearing a black robe. Under the black robe, nothing could be seen. "Wushuang, don't worry. I will definitely capture Ghost King City for you." "It doesn't matter. I don't care about a mere Ghost King. What I want is the thing underneath Ghost King City. Understand? Zhan Wushuang." Chapter 1800, Ghost King Avatar. Chapter 1800, Ghost King Avatar. Boom. Boom. With two loud bangs, the huge palanquin fell to the ground. All around them, the sound of people kneeling sounded out. It was like welcoming a certain big shot. Long Fei lowered his voice and said, "Looks like you're offering us to their king, and you're even a king with a perverted hobby." Nia Lin asked, "Then what do we do now?" Long Fei approached gently. The array formation on the door was still there, and he said, "Don't be anxious. Wait for them to let us out. Then you can listen to my orders." "Huh?" Nia Lin asked, "Why should I listen to your orders? You have no right to command me." She didn't want to be ordered. Long Fei glared at her and said, "The outside world is full of ghosts. When the time comes, your legs will be weak from fright." Nia Lin looked at Long Fei, and after a few seconds of silence, he said, "All right. Aha, ha, aha, ha." I never would have thought that someone would finally come after 1,000 years. Ha ha ha. A sinister laughter rang out from all directions. Buzz. A buzzing sound could be heard as a giant red robe appeared on top of a statue of the Ghost King. The sound came from the red robe. The pair of blood-red eyes stared at the sedan, revealing a hungry look. "I like men and women who have sex with women. After eating them, my cultivation should be able to go one step further. Someone come." Everyone was shocked. "Yes. Release the ghost god array. Let me see what they look like." The Spirit King said excitedly. Long Fei stopped talking very clearly. Long Fei looked at Nia Lin and said, Don't be afraid. Leave everything to me. Do you understand? Niel Lin looked at Long Fei's resolute eyes. This was the first time she had a feeling that this man could be relied on. It made her feel incomparably safe, and even the fear in her heart disappeared. Niel Lin gently nodded and said, "Amen, boom." When the ghost god formation was activated, the room was split open and collapsed. Long Fei and Niel Lin stood there. Long Fei's gaze swept across them. The surroundings were really as he had expected, full of Chi Mei sprite and demon ghost. Naturally, he who had traveled once in the underworld was not afraid of these things. However, Niel Lin was trembling slightly. Long Fei's reddest gaze fell on the De Hong Pao Ghost King. He was a little doubtful in his heart. He should be the boss, but why is there no boss aura? What reason? As Long Fei was thinking about all of this, an impatient voice from under the red robe rang out, "What a fresh and tender nourishment feast! Woo-ha-ha! I'm going to have a good meal today." The blood-red eyes beneath the red robe stared at the shivering Niel Lin, then looked at Long Fei, who was also looking at him. In that moment, the red robe suddenly trembled, because that pair of eyes was extremely familiar to him. It was his nightmare. He hadn't forgotten it in the past 1,000 years. The red-robed spirit king's body started to tremble intensely. "It's her, it's her, it's her." His body trembled, and his voice trembled. There was fear, but mostly excitement. Suddenly, the red-cloaked ghost king roared, "Kill him! Kill him!" A furious roar. Long Fei did not pay any attention to the sudden change. His heart sank as he said, "Niel Lin, be careful of yourself. I'll kill him first." As soon as he finished, Long Fei sped up as though he was flying, directly rushing towards the red-robed ghost king. At the same time, he lowered his fists and said, "1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Just a little more." The blasting fist required an attack range, so if he was unable to enter the attack range, he would not be able to hit the target. Long Fei quickly rushed out. The red-robed ghost king said gloomily, "I don't care what relationship you have with that woman, but today you're going to give me 18 layers of hell, and I'm going to cut off your flesh piece by piece." Boom. "That's enough." Long Fei's fists moved. "Eat my flesh." Then see if your teeth are so hard." Super Hurricane, blasting fist. He lowered his fists and locked onto the red-robed ghost king. 5 streaks of light flashed out. Under the blasting fist, there was no living being. Ever since Long Fei fused with the blasting fist, it had been like this, where not a single person was able to live. It was even more powerful than the main artifact. Lock on, and you will die. Currently, Long Fei had not met with an immortal yet. He was filled with confidence in the blasting fist. The red-cloaked ghost king sneered and said, "Just that? Didn't that woman teach you how to kill me?" "Oh, right, that woman can't kill me." The red-cloaked ghost king was not afraid in the slightest. As it saw the 5 streams of light rushing towards it, it waved its sleeves and bellowed, "Break for me!" The bloody energy flashed for a moment. Boom. The 5 beams of light swept out, but they did not disappear. There were no changes as they shot towards him. The red-robed ghost king's eyebrows tightened. Long Fei laughed. "You dare act so arrogantly for your father again." Rumble! Rumble! The 5 beams of light were like 5 tracking missiles as they exploded one by one. The red-robed ghost king was instantly blasted apart. Long Fei laughed. Under the blasting fist, no one will be able to survive. Even if you are a ghost, you won't be able to escape. How fierce was the blasting fist? However, Long Fei had a bad premonition in his heart because the Ghost King boss in front of him didn't look like a boss at all. Its characteristics were completely different from other bosses. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Ghost King Avatar, for obtaining 150,000 experience, 150,000 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Green Star rank 3. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and his bodyguard Xiao Yin for leveling up. Current level, 53. Rob. Long Fei's heart tightened. I knew it! I knew it! It really is an avatar. The surrounding ghosts were all dumbfounded. Immediately, Long Fei pulled Nielin's hand and shouted loudly, "Run!" Since he did not kill the boss, the only thing Long Fei could do was to escape. If he stayed any longer, both he and Nielin would die here. Moreover, things are big now. He had only killed one of the Ghost King's clones. How many clones did he have? The blasting fist could only be used once a day. If he failed once, the consequences would be hard to believe. However, Long Fei himself was extremely excited. Killing a clone is enough for me to level up. If there are hundreds or thousands of them, then won't I have to fly? If I'm here, it'll mean that my bodyguard has leveled up again. In this 1 month of time, Long Fei had risen to more than 10 levels. Xiao Yin was also leveling up, and as his level increased, the amount of heavenly flames he received also increased. Damn it! If you force me, pull Xiao Yin out. Long Fei's heart sank. This was his last trump card. A level 50 or so Xiao Yin. How strong was he now? What stage has the training of the heavenly flame reached? Long Fei was really looking forward to it. Chapter 1801, Experience Baby. Chapter 1801, Experience Baby. How dare you destroy my clone? Die! Die! Mournful and furious roars continuously sounded out from above the Ghost King city. The Spirit King was furious. The entire Ghost King city was in an uproar. In that instant, countless doors opened. The Ghost King city was a huge graveyard, and the people buried there didn't even enter the underworld, but became the guardians of the underworld. They were a special existence. They wanted to build their own world. It wasn't the underworld or the mortal world, but their own world. I almost succeeded last time. However, in such a critical moment, he was nearly scared to death by this woman. His body completely shattered, and after 1,000 years, he finally rose once again. But who would have thought that his clone would be broken by a single fist? This had a huge impact on his body's remodeling. Damn thing! You must kill him for me. Long Fei grabbed Nielin and ran out of Ghost King City. Now, he had to wait for the cooldown of the blasting fist. Nielin followed behind Long Fei. In her mind, she had been thinking about that fist strike that Long Fei had released. It was even stronger than the one she had released last time on the back of the Xiao Yao Palace's Iron Hand Eagle. Moreover, after using his fist, Long Fei was very confident. It was as though they knew beforehand that he was going to die. This was a type of confidence. Nielin said, "Why do you want to escape? Your cultivation technique is so strong. You can just kill them instantly." Long Fei said, "Do you think I can release it every time? Young miss, it's very harmful. Now, just follow me. If we get caught, he'll eat us both." Long Fei did not want to explain to Nielin, but the weakness of the blasting fist was too obvious. It was seen through when they were in the Lan clan. It was just that at that time. It was just a simple blasting fist. It's upgraded now to not let others see through his weakness. He had to level up even faster. The blasting fist was currently only at the 3rd level. It still needed to be upgraded to a stronger realm. Then there was the desperate man. The world he entered was completely different. One side was Ghost City. In an immortal city, Long Fei and Nie Lin were captured, and he was chased inside. He also passed through a series of dark spaces, and when he woke up again, he found himself in a world of immortal clouds and mountains. This place was like a paradise. It was just like how the legends described the world where immortals lived. Desperate man stood there and felt everything that was happening in the immortal world. His consciousness seemed to have awakened a little as he muttered to himself, "This place, have I been here? Why is it so familiar?" Looking at the palace floating in the clouds far away, the desperate man moved on his sword and flew to the Sky Palace. Who the hell was he? Why did he vow to protect Long Fei? He really wanted to know. Ghost King City is in a state of turmoil. It seems like outsiders have come again. Beneath the black robe, Zhan Wushuang revealed a cold, contemptuous smile. Beside him, an elder bent his knees and said lightly, "Sir Envoy, no matter what happens in the Ghost King City, that thing will always be yours." Zhan Wushuang smiled slightly and said, "Of course. I came for it. My fleshly body is gone. I want to rebuild my body. After I reconstruct my body, I want to trample over every corner of ancient holy battlefield. I want to make Long Fei pay the price of his life. And Xianyuan Li heir. Just you wait," Zhan Wushuang said as he gnashed his teeth. The old man holding the staff, who had a strange lantern hanging from him, was like a dead guide who slowly walked forward, bringing Zhan Wushuang to the deepest part of Ghost King City. During this time, he, who did not have any physical body, was searching everywhere. Finally, under the guidance of the Destiny God, they entered the Devil Island's immortal underground palace. He wanted that treasure to rebuild his fleshly body. This treasure was extremely important. Long Fei held onto a tree of death and panted heavily. F***CK. I finally escaped. Nie Lin's breathing was stable. This kind of speed had no effect on her at all. If it wasn't for Long Fei holding her hand, she could run even faster. Nie Lin looked at Long Fei and said, "He seems to know you. You have been here before?" Long Fei replied, "What the hell? If I had come here before, then this would have been a flat ground a long time ago. Making an avatar, that's 2F * King amazing." Long Fei was extremely unhappy. However, Nie Lin's words made him secretly think, the Ghost King said her, could she be his mother? Mother seems to have been here before. But didn't you say that this is the immortal underground palace? How did you become a Ghost King City? Long Fei was puzzled. However, since he was here, since he had discovered the boss, he had to go and kill it, or else he would not be called Long Fei. And then Long Fei said, "Rest well for one day, we'll fight again tomorrow." Nie Lin looked at Long Fei. She felt that Long Fei had too many secrets. It was very obvious that Long Fei had not come to this underground palace, but why did that spirit king suddenly get angry when he saw him? Moreover, his cultivation technique was able to kill him with a single move. That scene. She was a meticulous woman. She was seriously considering every detail. However, Long Fei fell into a deep sleep. Rest was of utmost importance at this time. Time passed by very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a day had gone by. Ding! Time cooldown ended. Hearing the notification sound, Long Fei's eyes suddenly opened wide, the corners of his mouth lifted, and he said excitedly, "Hee, it's my turn. Let's go." "Go to Ghost King City." "About that. You can stay here. I'll go alone." Long Fei did not want Nie Lin to suffer too. Nie Lin said, "I want to follow you." "Are you sure?" Long Fei looked at her. Nie Lin said, "At least someone must retrieve your corpse." Long Fei said, "Can't you just say something good?" Nie Lin smiled lightly and walked out in large strides. At the entrance of Ghost King City, Long Fei cursed loudly. Ghost King, you son of a b****, tch. If you have the guts, come out and fight him for 300 rounds. Come on. You're courting death. The moment Long Fei's voice fell, from the depths of Ghost King City, a streak of red light flew out and landed atop the city gate. Anger. Long Fei could clearly feel that rage. Long Fei muttered in his heart, "What did my mother do to you all those years ago?" Long Fei placed both of his hands on his hips and said, "Turtle grandchild, come down and bite me." The moment the Spirit King charged forward, it descended like lightning. The strong force completely crushed Long Fei's body, causing his body to sink down, and his legs could not even stand properly. Nielin moved his sword. Buzz! A bright light exploded, but she also instantly retreated. However, he gave Long Fei a chance to catch his breath. His fists moved. Blasting fist, go, and F***ck yourself. Chapter 1802, The Heavenly King's Sacred Pearl. Chapter 1802, The Heavenly King's Sacred Pearl. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Ghost King Avatar, for obtaining 150,000 experience, 150,000 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 54. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 55. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently, you are level 4 green star. You need 3 million experience points to level up. Damn! I leveled up again. This is great. After the battle, Long Fei pulled Nielin and escaped. Isn't this leveling speed too fast? Ha ha ha. Nielin looked at Long Fei's excited face. She just couldn't understand why Long Fei's aura suddenly became even stronger after he finished fighting and left. It was clear that he had broken through to the next realm. Ghost King City was furious. Another clone was destroyed, which meant he had lost a lot of his profound chi. Damn it! Send out the Ghost King's elite force. I want him dead. I want him dead. The Ghost King was infuriated. For 2 consecutive days, his clone was destroyed. This made him extremely infuriated. There was definitely no third time. There definitely wouldn't be a third time. And then the Spirit Kings opened their doors wide, and countless elite steel cavalry soldiers rushed out of Ghost King City. Long Fei ran happily, feeling indescribably good in his heart. Ha ha ha! It has leveled up again. This is simply a paradise for leveling up. Killing 1 Ghost King avatar would give 5 million experience, while killing 2 will raise the level. I now hope that the Ghost King has tens of millions of avatars. That would be great. Nielin looked at Long Fei with a complacent expression. She was getting more and more confused by the man in front of her. On the 3rd day, Ghost King, you son of a b****, tch, come out and fight me one-on-one if you have the guts. Rumble. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Ghost King Avatar, for obtaining 150,000 experience, 150,000 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and his bodyguard, Xiao Yan, for leveling up. Current level, 56. F***ck. Xiao Yan, you have leveled up again. How fierce! After Long Fei finished fighting the blasting fist, he ran and said, "Son of a b****, tch, let's fight again tomorrow." She pulled Nielin and disappeared without a trace. Son of a bitch. Come out and fight with me for 300 rounds if you dare. Another day passed. Long Fei clamored from under the city. The Spirit King could not help but go out, and in the end was killed by Long Fei. Upgrading again. Green Star's 5th rank. Xiao Yan leveled up to level 57 once again. For days, Nielin was dumbfounded. There was such a cultivation method. Is Long Fei even a human? Even the leader of 10 disciples, Yi Tiancheng, would not be able to achieve such a breakthrough. But 10 disciples, the top 100 ranking disciples, did not have the name Long Fei. Could it be that he had been hiding this entire time? What was going on? Nielin was confused. She realized that being with Long Fei was a huge blow, and she felt like a doll next to Long Fei. She followed him and pulled him back. This feeling was too useless. Midnight. Long Fei was secretly excited. Tomorrow I will kill another clone, and I will be able to break through to Green Star rank 9. In a few days, I will be able to obtain the ancient giant dragon buff. Ha! Ghost King. Oh, Ghost King, you're simply an experienced king. Long Fei was not used to the fast leveling speed. God, rare sex big boss is waiting for me. 10 sex exchange is waiting for me. If I can't become stronger, how can I protect myself? I have to be a bit faster. There was only a month left. Long Fei looked at the dark sky and muttered, I wonder how Desperate Man is doing right now. No matter what identity the Desperate Man had, it didn't matter. He was like an elder protecting him. Long Fei felt extremely protective in his heart. Immortal Palace. Desperate Man was flipping through a huge book. For the past half month, he had been flipping through this book. At the same time, his consciousness was also slowly awakening. He found out more about himself and Long Fei. Rumble. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed from the underground palace. The elder of the Xiao Yao Palace grinned. Luckily, I was prepared to bring a divine spirit cannon with me, so I didn't believe that it wouldn't explode here. Ha ha ha. At the same time, the 2 doors collapsed at the same time. Shining Immortal Palace, Ghost King City. Elder, where should we go? A disciple asked. Elder Xiao Yao looked at both sides and said, First, take the right. Disciples of the Shenyang sect, lead the way. The elder of the Xiao Yao Palace shouted. The place they chose was Immortal Palace. After that loud noise, there was another that came from the depths of Ghost King City. This sound resonated throughout the entire underground palace, and it came from the depths of the earth. Rumble! Rumble! Long Fei abruptly woke up and asked, What is that sound? Nielin had long since woken up and looked in the direction of the Ghost King City, saying, It's the Ghost King City. Long Fei's brows tightened and said, Could it be that something happened to Ghost King City? No way. The Spirit King is my boss. No one is allowed to steal it. Long Fei immediately rushed in the direction of the Ghost King City. Nielin chased after him and said, Long Fei, that cultivation method of yours is not up yet. It's dangerous for you to run over like this. Danger? There was nothing more dangerous than having the boss stolen. The reason why Long Fei killed the doppelganger for such a long period of time was not because he was unable to lure out the boss, but because he wanted to level up even more. The Spirit King was just an experienced beast. If it was killed by others, it would be because it was him who killed it. At this moment, Ghost King City was in chaos. Inside the Ghost King's secret chamber, the Spirit King leaned against the wall with his last breath, staring at the black gown floating in the air, and asked, Who are you? Who exactly are you? The black robes floating in midair revealed a sinister smile. Who I am is not important. What is important is that you hand over the Heavenly King's jewel. The Ghost King's eyes darkened. How do you know I have a Heavenly King's jewel on me? Zhan Wushuang laughed sinisterly. Half of the Sky King's Earth Palace is an immortal palace, and the other half is a ghost king city. The immortal palace is in charge of Flying Crane, and the ghost king city is in charge of the Sky King's Pearl. The Flying Crane has been subdued by the Flying Goddess, its location unknown. But she doesn't know that the ghost king city still has a heavenly king's pearl. This heavenly king's pearl has a heavenly king's sacred body, yet you can't use any techniques after cultivating for 1,000 years. You are just a piece of trash. Give me the pearl, and I'll spare your dog life. Otherwise, I'll let you know what a true hell is. It was as cold as ice. The black robe carried an incomparably powerful aura. It could easily shatter the Spirit King's aura. The elder who was stroking his body stood aside, silently, not saying a word. "Hand it over," shouted once more. If he could fuse with the heavenly king's sacred body, his physical body would be perfectly remolded, and at that time, he would be able to enter the ancient holy battlefield. With the help of main artifact, who could stop him? He will be the ascendant level main temple. At this moment, the elder who had been silent all this while suddenly looked up and said, "Someone's coming." Chapter 1803, Zhan Wushuang's Powerful Crush. Chapter 1803, Zhan Wushuang's Powerful Crush. "You want to steal my boss? Then I'll kill him." Long Fei cursed as he ran. Right now, the Ghost King City was wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. It was obvious that someone had taken over their position. Moreover, from the looks of it, the leader should be on the verge of death. Wasn't this simply stealing the boss? Was she blatantly slapping Long Fei's face? Nia Lin asked, could it be those people from the Xiao Yao Palace? Long Fei said in disdain, just with the people from Xiao Yao Palace? He is not a match for the Spirit King at all, so there must be some experts here. Expert. In Nielin's mind, the image of two gigantic mountains suddenly disappearing appeared. His heart tensed up, and he thought to himself, could it be that powerhouse? If it's him, we have no chance at all. Moving mountains and filling the sea, this kind of power could only be done by the legendary almighty powerhouses. Seeing Long Fei sprinting all the way, Nia Lin hesitated about whether or not to follow him. If it really was that powerhouse, then they would only be sending themselves to their deaths. After struggling for a few seconds, Nia Lin still caught up. Return or not? The aura emitted from Zhan Wushuang's body directly crushed the Spirit King to the point that he could not move at all. The voice that came out from under the black robe was getting colder and colder, as if it came from hell. The old man at the side said, those two people are getting closer and closer. Zhan Wushuang did not fear him and coldly replied, it's just a mere demonic Tao. I don't care about it. If anyone dares to oppose me, I will make them die miserably. Zhan Wushuang did not even put the Devil Island in his eyes. How could there be a powerhouse in a place like this that was abandoned by the gods? He wasn't even afraid of the powerhouse, because he was also the successor of the god, and he was also someone who was protected by main artifact, so he was fearless. Zhan Wushuang's sinister gaze darkened, and he said, Ghost King, if you don't want to die, speak out. There is a limit to my patience. If not, rumble. Without waiting for Zhan Wushuang to finish speaking, a loud noise came from outside the secret room. The wall collapsed. Sand and dust filled the sky as Long Fei rushed in. Who the hell doesn't want to fight with me for the boss? Extremely displeased. At the same time, Zhan Wushuang's pupils abruptly shrank. His eyes turned sinister as the qi on his body surged like overturning rivers and seas. He spoke two words in an incomparably gloomy voice. Long Fei! As soon as he finished, Long Fei's heart was also shaken. This voice was extremely familiar, his eyes sinister as he stared at the black robe floating in the air. Zhan Wushuang! Not with the same surname, but with the body that was beaten up by him in Chaos Realm. Zhan Wushuang. Anger. Fury. It was burning crazily. Burn. Long Fei roared. Where is Lear? Lear. Ha ha ha. I didn't think you would still be thinking about her. Zhan Wushuang laughed sinisterly, laughed with incomparable excitement and pride, and said lightly, "You should be worried about yourself now. Before I came to the Devil Island, I felt that I would have good luck. I didn't expect my luck to be so good. I actually met you. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, I was just looking for you throughout the world, but didn't expect that you would deliver yourself to my doorstep. Ha ha ha." Zhan Wushuang's words carried an endless killing intent. At the same time, his aura was released with incomparable power, forming an earth-shattering pressure that pressed down towards Long Fei. Destroy my body. Exterminate my clan. Let me escape Chaos Realm in a sorry state. Long Fei, this grudge, this father will use your flesh and blood to repay it bit by bit today. Ah! A furious roar. The entire secret room started to shake violently. From the center of the room, it rapidly spread, and the entire Ghost King City was collapsing. The aura being emanated from his body was too powerful. Boom, boom. One by one, the buildings began to collapse, and the shattered pieces of stone were all suspended in the air. The current Zhan Wushuang was far stronger than the one in the Chaos Realm. They were not on the same level at all. This was the difference between Devil Island and the rest of the ancient holy battlefield. Ah, ha, ha. Long Fei, tremble. Zhan Wushuang felt the aura of strength from Long Fei's body and disdainfully said, "You're too weak. I didn't think that you would be so weak in the ancient holy battlefield. You still want to save Xianyuan Lier? With just you? Rumble, rumble, rumble." It was as if the world had been destroyed. Niel Lin stood behind Long Fei and shouted, "Long Fei, we are not his match. Run quickly." With such a powerful powerhouse, there was no way for them to even look up to someone with such a cultivation level. What awaited them here was only death. Long Fei was secretly shocked in his heart. Zhan Wushuang, whose flesh had been shattered by him in the Chaos Realm, had actually become so powerful in such a short amount of time. "Kneel!" Zhan Wushuang roared. The pressure from his body pressed down heavily. Rumble! A loud sound rang out in the air as Zhan Wushuang's intimidating aura came crashing down like a gigantic ferocious beast and landed heavily on Long Fei's shoulder. Buzz! Long Fei's sea of consciousness nearly ruptured. He couldn't bear it. He bent his body and knelt down uncontrollably. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Zhan Wushuang laughed crazily. "I never would have thought that in such a short amount of time, my strength would be able to crush you 10,000 times more. Right? Ha ha ha! Long Fei, this place is my world. In your dreams of going against the will of the heavens and changing your fate in ancient holy battlefield, you are just wishful thinking. Do you think you can fight against a god? Now, I am God. If I don't kill you in the Chaos Realm, I will definitely kill you here." Zhan Wushuang was as sinister as a madman, the anger in his heart surging crazily. Their clansmen were exterminated. The woman was robbed. His flesh was smashed apart. All of this was because of Long Fei. He wanted revenge. The transformed old man silently watched everything without doing anything. Long Fei endured it. The current Zhan Wushuang was too strong. Even if he released the Holy Spirit defense, it would be useless. Just 1% of his attack was already enough to kill him. However, but Long Fei did not give up. Zhan Wushuang stared at Niel Lin, who was beside Long Fei, and laughed coldly. "Your luck with women is really good. I didn't think that you would find another beauty. However, She's going to die soon. Do you want to see her die? The black robe moved slightly. Shwa! A streak of black flame was raised into the air and grabbed onto Nie Lin's throat. Nie Lin was simply unable to resist them. Zhan Wushuang laughed. Seeing your beloved girl die in front of you should be a very satisfying thing, right? Ha ha ha. Nie Lin was crushed, speechless. He continued to struggle in the air. Giggle. Long Fei gritted his teeth. My last trump card. Chapter 1804. Xiao Yan attacks. Chapter 1804. Xiao Yan attacks. The blasting fist could not be released while it was still cold. Even if he had finished cooling, Long Fei would not be able to release it because he would not be able to do so under such a strong pressure. On the same day, he entered the ancient holy battlefield. However, yet Zhan Wushuang had become so powerful. As for him, a few hours ago, he was still complacent about the speed at which he leveled up. But now, compared to before, his speed was too slow. Of course, he would not know what kind of inheritance Zhan Wushuang had, would not know how much help he had received from the Destiny God, and would not know how many gods the main temple had helped him. The last trump card. Zhan Wushuang laughed and said, In front of me, everything you've done is trash. Understand? To oppose me is to oppose the main temple. The last trump card. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, it's useless. The current Zhan Wushuang is not Chaos Realm's war chief. Zhan Wushuang did not immediately kill Long Fei. He was going to torture him, and he was going to let Long Fei die little by little, making him endure the world's most painful pain. Long Fei didn't know what he had experienced. However, he also didn't know what Long Fei had experienced. Even more so, he didn't know what the current Long Fei possessed. In that instant, Long Fei frowned. Xiao Yan. Ding. Activate bodyguard system. Yes, sir. Xiao Yan, come out and kill this bastard. The idea moved in Long Fei's heart and released the level 57 Xiao Yan. This was his last trump card. Buzz. Xiao Yan, who had his eyes shut all along, suddenly opened them. A whoosh sound was emitted in the system's space. At this moment, he descended. The elder that had been silent the entire time finally spoke. Young master, it's dangerous. Not waiting for him to finish, the flame in Xiao Yan's hand formed into an incomparably brilliant hellfire lotus. Boom! The flames exploded. The azure lotus flames of the infernal realm had burned everything. It directly pierced through Zhan Wushuang, who was floating in midair. Zhan Wushuang's aura suddenly shrank back, and the pressure completely disappeared. The stones that floated in the air all fell down crazily, and Zhan Wushuang's eyes trembled under the black robe as his voice became hoarse. Long Fei! A tearing roar. Black robe was shrinking rapidly, as if he was being crushed by space itself. Ah! Ah! Miserable cries of pain were constantly produced. The old man moved, and the strange lantern in his hand flashed. The light covered the twisted black robe. Long Fei straightened his body and said, If I can step on you once, I can step on you twice. If it wasn't for you, my family wouldn't have been taken away by that dog Destiny God. If it wasn't for you, Xian Yuan Lier, I would also be by my side. If it wasn't for you. Long Fei gritted his teeth so hard that his teeth were popping out. My 8 King Kong is still beside me. Kill him for me. The anger in Long Fei's heart burst forth. It was a rage that came from the Chaos Realm. At this moment, boom, 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 Xiao Yan blasted out the heavenly flames one by one. He was just like a heavenly flame transmitter. Moreover, his heavenly flame was completely different from the ones Long Fei had obtained from the system. The heavenly flame Long Fei had once used was only a replica, but the current Xiao Yin was the true controller of the heavenly flame. The strength of the heavenly flame that he had released was unimaginable. Nielin landed and looked at Long Fei. Looking at Xiao Yin beside Long Fei, he was extremely shocked. Where exactly does this man come from? Boom, boom. The staff in the elder's hand trembled. The light from the lantern flickered, as if it was about to be extinguished. At this moment, the old man waved his staff and chanted an incantation. Next to him, a door of space-time opened, and with a flash of the lantern, the black robe was retrieved and immediately returned to the door of space-time. Long Fei took a step forward and followed suit. However, he was bounced back. A voice rang out in the air. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, you can't kill me. Main Temple won't let me die. Just you wait. Ha ha ha. I will wait for you in ancient holy battlefield. At that time, I will trample you under my feet in front of everyone. Buzz. The space gate disappeared. Everything around him disappeared. At the same time, Xiao Yin also disappeared and returned to the bodyguard system. If not for Xiao Yin, Long Fei would already be dead. Long Fei continued to bellow, Zhan Wushuang, come back to me if you dare, come. However, no matter how loud he shouted, Zhan Wushuang would not be able to hear him. Cluck, 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 cluck. Ah! Long Fei was furious. The spirit qi being released from his body was extremely brutal. Even Nielin was frightened. He wasn't willing to accept this. He was very unhappy. Zhan Wushuang escaped just like that. Moreover, Zhan Wushuang had already obtained the support of the main temple gods, which meant that he would become even more powerful in the near future. At that time, Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and said solemnly, Main Temple, Destiny God, Zhan Wushuang, I will overturn your ancestors. In that instant, Long Fei's gaze turned as he stared at the Spirit King, who was shivering at the side. The Spirit King, whose entire body was shining with a golden light. This was his main body. He stepped forward and shouted, What is Zhan Wushuang doing here? What does he want? The Spirit King shook his head. I don't know. He looked at the little amount of HP left on the Ghost King's head. Long Fei grinned. You don't know, right? If you don't know, then just wait for me. With that, Long Fei rushed out. The idea moved. Fire Dragon Knife. Nielin shouted, Long Fei, where are you going? Long Fei said, Watch him closely. If he moves, let him die. At this time, the Spirit King was being crushed by Zhan Wushuang and was at its last gasp, unable to resist at all. But Long Fei could not kill him right now, because he was missing something. He needed such a thing. Buzz. The flames burned. The fire dragons on the blade roared. They were like qi that coiled around Long Fei's entire body. He roared out, All of you come here to die. Those demons who were still in shock looked at Long Fei as they turned around and rushed forward. He was dissatisfied that he did not kill Zhan Wushuang. Long Fei needed to vent this anger through killing. Then again, what he needed more was something else, a metamorphic energy value. Come on. Long Fei ignored his defense and started killing with all his might. The fire dragon knife massacred crazily, and with every slash, it would kill instantly. No one could stop it. Boom, boom, rumble. He continued to crush everything. 10 minutes later, metamorphic energy value filling up to 100 points. Long Fei returned to the secret room, dripping with blood, then looked at the Spirit King. The fire dragon knife in his hand moved and laughed sinisterly. You don't know? Then Lousy will know. The Spirit King was stunned. This scene, too similar. However, the last time he did not die, he did not know why that woman did not kill him despite clearly being able to. And now, the fire dragon slashed down. Explode for me. Chapter 1805, God's Immortal Bead. Chapter 1805, God's Immortal Bead. Don't say it. Not giving. It doesn't matter. I can explode. As the fire dragon blade slashed down, the incomparably weak ghost dragon was sliced into two halves, and the last bit of blood on his head disappeared. Long Fei closed his eyes and quietly listened. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Ghost King, for obtaining 10 million experience, 1 million holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the King's Pearl. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the secret technique, Ghost Spirit Art. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Myriad Spirit Pill. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. The system kept beeping. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for rising 2 levels in a row. Current level, Blue Star Rank 2. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up, obtaining a special reward, Level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Blue Star Rank 3. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising the bodyguard Xiao Yan to level 4 consecutively. Continuously leveling up, crazily leveling up, this speed increased by 3 levels in the blink of an eye, and in the blink of an eye, Long Fei's power was especially different. That feeling was very strong. His entire body seemed to radiate with the golden light of a divine power. Ancient giant dragon buff. Every move was imbued with a tremendous amount of power. However, this was still not the thing that made Long Fei the most excited. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and said, "Sky King's Pearl? Contain the Heavenly King's sacred body, the center of the Spirit King's power source. It should be something that Zhan Wushuang needs, right?" Long Fei looked at a black pearl. He did not see any difference, but the system's attributes told him that this pearl was not simple at all. Long Fei's heart was moved, and he said, "Then it's your turn." Heavenly King's Pearl. Ding! Injection of metamorphic energy value into the Heavenly King's Pearl. The system paused for a few seconds, then beeped again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining God's Immortal Bead. Do you wish to fuse it? Pearl of Immortality. Just by hearing the word immortal, Long Fei was a little excited and immediately opened up the system to check the stats. Item: God's Immortal Bead attribute, darkness element description, possessed countless divine bodies. After fusing them together, each death will result in a transformation. The power of darkness will increase exponentially. Description: unless the primordial spirit is destroyed, otherwise. Immortality. Description: the person who fuses with this pearl will forever fall into darkness, becoming a dark emissary. It can cause 10 times the pressure, damage, and defense of dark life forms. Damn! So awesome! Immortality. Long Fei was a little stunned. The nature of this bead was a little heaven-defying. As long as the primordial spirit did not die, then it would never die. Abnormal! That's abnormal. Ha ha ha. I like it. Long Fei's heart was in ecstasy. The idea moved and said, "Will the dark soul be lost forever? What do you mean? Do you want me to sell my fate to the chief sovereign of darkness? Who cares what dark soul it is? My soul is already dark. Fuse." Long Fei didn't think too much about it. He did not think about the consequences of his soul sinking into darkness forever. He just wanted power, stronger power. After Zhan Wushuang appeared, he wanted to become even more powerful. In such a short period of time, The difference in strength between him and Zhan Wushuang was just too great. Behind him was the Pantheon. What about Long Fei herself? He could only rely on himself. He could only rely on his own strength to move forward step by step. Even if there were too many thorns on the road, he had to face them alone. Just as Zhan Wushuang had said, he was not going to face only one person, but the entire power of the main temple. He wanted to become strong. He wanted to become stronger after fusing with the powers that could be fused with everything. Even if he were to be like his father, forever selling his soul to the Grim Reaper, he would not hesitate in the slightest. Fuse. Long Fei's heart was incomparably firm. Ding. System prompt. Fusion successful. The fusion of the god's immortal bead and Long Fei was almost unimpeded and was completed in one go. It was at the location of Long Fei's heart. When the black pearl entered, Long Fei could clearly feel its existence, like a sunspot on his heart. He could feel the immortal energy in the pearl. In this world, there was no such thing as an immortal. Even deities would die of old age, and even sovereigns would die as long as they lived. God's immortal bead's power came from countless clones. As long as his primordial spirit did not perish, he would be able to completely control the pearl of immortality. Of course, the more times he died, the deeper his soul sank. This was immortality. Rumble! Rumble! Regained his senses, looked around, and said softly, "Clean, not one will be let go." And then Long Fei rushed out. Nye Lin was in a daze the whole time. It was only until Long Fei was far away that she woke up. In just a short second, you broke through 3 times in a row. It's impossible even for a sudden insight. This year's 10 Sex Exchange's new king would definitely be him. I have no chance. Nye Lin laughed bitterly. Following that, Nye Lin also ran out. They walked away. A shadow slowly rose from the body of the Spirit King, the Ghost King's shadow. Looking at the direction that Long Fei disappeared in, he said lightly, "Master, my mission is complete. Everything that you entrusted me to have was completed." As soon as he finished, a dim light enveloped the ghostly king's shadow, and with a flash, the apparition disappeared from the spot. In another place. So that brat is called Long Fei. He is actually the son of the flying goddess? My God, this is too unbelievable. And you, Elder Xiao Yao stared at Desperate Man and said, You are actually... Elder Xiao Yao stared at the thick golden book in his hand. The things he saw on it were completely beyond his imagination, and his heart was incomparably shocked. Desperate Man's sword moved slightly. Crack! The clan elders of the Xiao Yao Palace were split into 2, after the light and shadow superimposed on each other. The Desperate Man faintly said, "Since you know, then you no longer have a chance to continue living." It wasn't just Elder Xiao Yao. Everyone he had brought with him was dead, including the disciples of the Xianyang sect. All dead. Desperate Man picked up Jin Su, who was on the ground. With a flash of his god power, Jin Su turned into powder, and then he kneeled down. "Rest assured, I will definitely protect him. I swear on my life." Finished. Desperate Man walked to the Immortal Palace's sword stage and carried a long and thin sword on his back. At this moment, a sharp cry rang out. From the depths of the Immortal Palace, a flying crane fluttered its wings as it approached. Chapter 1806, Returning to the God Rare Sect. Chapter 1806, Returning to the God Rare Sect by the Holy Abyss Cliff. Long Fei, I hope we are not enemies. Nye Lin said, coming out from the underground palace. Nye Lin's understanding of Long Fei increased, but this allowed her to understand that Long Fei was unfathomably deep. To make an enemy out of such an opponent, she did not know how to face him. Long Fei laughed. Why would we be enemies? Nye Lin laughed and said, That's right, we almost got married. With that, Nye Lin's cheeks flushed red. Following that, Nye Lin moved his idea, and the iron hand eagle circling in the air swooped down. Nye Lin's footsteps shook as he rushed into the sky and said, Long Fei, I'll be waiting for you at 10 Sex Exchanges Arena. Yes. Thank you for the pill. Myriad Spirit Pill. Holy ply, this kind of pill could allow her spirit communication technique to progress further, and would also increase her cultivation by a lot. This kind of medicinal pellet was of no use to Long Fei. However, to Nye Lin, she was several times better than the items Xianyang sect wanted to exchange for. She was even stronger than Land Fire Snake S. However, Nye Lin stood on the iron hand eagle's back as he looked into the distance. Now, only I'm going to return. He felt a little sad, but this was the martial arts training. This was training. Dangers were everywhere. The people from Xiaoyao Palace also did not come out. They must have died in the underground palace. Nye Lin lowered his head to look at Long Fei, who was the size of an ant, and muttered to himself, I really hope I can't see you at the tournament. However, this is impossible. Long Fei, I'm looking forward to your stunning performance. Let's go. The iron hand eagle let out a cry, rushed into the clouds, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Long Fei muttered, Let's go as well. Time to go back. A white shadow flashed. When he left the underground palace, Long Fei had already sensed the existence of many desperate manes, but the feeling they gave him was a little different. He became even more powerful. This was Long Fei's intuition. Return to God Rare Sect. God Rare Sect, the inner sect's martial arts practice field. Boom, boom, buzz, buzz, buzz. One by one, the shadows fell from the sky and crashed into the ground, blood trickling down from the corners of their mouths. Their faces were pale, a total of 81 people. They were all the elite disciples of the Blue Star Realm. They were all knocked down. Boom. With a loud sound, the sword intent was completely retracted, and a figure steadily descended from the air. Ha ha ha! As expected of the number one disciple of the God Rare Sect, the killing inner space actually broke through the second barrier in such a short amount of time. Genius, super genius, ha ha! To be able to comprehend the second realm of killing inner space at such a young age, he's truly amazing. The mighty senior brother Fong. This year's Disciples Exchange will depend on senior brother Fong. The 10 rating gift. It can even be compared to those 10 disciples S. Let's see who dares to look down on our God Rare Sect this year. Ha ha ha. A wave of joyous praises sounded out from the martial arts arena. Great Elder Luo Wanhong was the first to walk down, clapping his hands as he walked forward, and said, Tianhan, you've advanced at an incredible speed. Fong Tianhan kept his long sword and immediately bowed. Many thanks to Great Clan Elder for the spirit charging pill. Not only did it allow me to charge up to the second stage of the Slay Intent domain, it also allowed my cultivation to increase by another step. He was extremely grateful. The spirit charging pill was definitely not an ordinary pill. It was also because of the assistance of this pill that Fong Tianhan's comprehension of the killing inner space had a breakthrough, and his own cultivation had a series of breakthroughs as well, shocking the entire God Rare Sect. An elder laughed and said, A spirit cleansing pill. This is not an ordinary pill. The first elder has spent a lot of effort just for this pill. That's right. Ling Dan, Holy Ply, and it's not that I say that even the sect leader cannot afford to take out such a pill. It's just that the great clan elder has treated you well. That's right. A few elders echoed. Fong Tianhan knelt down on one knee in front of Luo Wanhong and said, Great elder's kindness. Freezing Sky will forever remember it in my heart. Kneel down. One must know that Fang Tianhan did not even kneel to his master, but had kneeled before the great clan elder. All the disciples and elders in the martial arts practice field were shocked. The corner of Luo Wanhong's mouth quirked up as he started laughing loudly. Ha ha, ha ha ha. His laughter was arrogant and incomparably proud. Senior sister, Fang Tianhan has comprehended the second stage of killing inner space. LV Shuangchuan walked to Bawang Hua's side and muttered. Bawang Hua's expression did not change, but he asked softly, "Have you found out what I told you to do?" LV Shuangchuan's brows tightened and said, "Senior sister, it would be best if you don't know about this. It is not beneficial for you. You must pass the selection at a critical moment." Bawang Hua tensed up. Since LV Shuangchuan had said so, she already understood in her heart. The big shot of the inner sect disciples wanted Long Fei dead. Dragon roar. Tiger subduing. Boom, boom. Bawang Hua punched out with his fists. The powerful energy instantly formed into qi that shot out a powerful existence. LV Shuangchuan was forced to continuously retreat, and he could not take it anymore. No matter who. "I will avenge you." Bawang Hua said in his heart. The first step she had to take was to enter the inner sect. As long as she passed the selection and got a spot in the tournament, she would be able to become an inner disciple. Boom, boom. Bawang Hua trained hard day and night. Haven't heard from him in such a long time. Not yet. He's just a piece of trash running into the mountains where demon beasts run rampant. I think he's probably dead inside the mountains. Don't worry about that too much. Right now, the most important thing is to select the people we need and go to the tournament. We will have all the authority we need in our hands. Great Elders Meeting Room. All of the elders began to discuss amongst themselves. Luo Wanhong smiled, then suddenly said, "If you guys were to change Fang Tianhan's master for me, wouldn't Zhang Sanqian lose a lot of face?" Everyone was taken aback. Then they all laughed. It's more than just losing face. It's simply slapping Zhang Sanqian in the face. To dare to start a war with you, are you courting death? If I slap his face, wouldn't that mean that Zhang Sanqian is awesome? Without Fang Tianhan as a disciple, let's see how he can continue to be so arrogant. He can even lose his dignity. Great clan elder, your move is too brilliant. After losing Fang Tianhan, this disciple, Zhang Sanqian's reputation will disappear. Ha ha ha. Last time when his men were killed, Zhang Sanqian's power was considered as starting a war. Luo Wanhong retaliated. The inner sect was now all in his hands. Other than the title of master for the number one disciple, Zhang Sanqian also had a title of sect master that fell to the ground. If Fang Tianhan was changed to become his disciple, then Zhang Sanqian would have nothing at all. He would only be mocked by others. At this moment, Luo Wanhong then said, "On the day of the selection competition, if Fang Tianhan changed his mind to become Zhang Sanqian's disciple in front of Zhang Sanqian, what do you think of the opportunity?" Huh. Everyone was stunned and burst out laughing. Chapter 1807. Deception. Chapter 1807. Deception, he had to be accurate in his moves and be ruthless in his face smacking, killing without blood. Luo Wanhong had coveted the position of sect master and had always been forcing his hand. This time, he wanted to force Zhang Sanqian off the cliff. Boom, boom, boom. The war drums rang. The outer sect of God, rare sect, was sitting together in the inner sect. Today was the day of the great selection competition, and it was also the most important day of the year. Not only was it the selection exchange, but there were also outer sect disciples that were promoted to inner sect disciples. As long as you have the strength, you can display your prowess today. As long as you are strong enough, today you will have everything you want. The outer sect disciple, Senior Brother Wang Tai, will definitely be able to enter the inner sect and will even become a new disciple at the exchange hall. His talent is only at the 9th stage, only second to Senior Brother Fong. Wang Tai is strong, but after training for more than 3 months, I still don't know the outcome. But Wang Hua definitely will not lose to Wang Tai. She is training in the training grounds every day, and you have all seen her burst power. I heard that she did not stop her training even at night. Her power has already reached the Skybreak realm. This is of the ancient holy battlefield being able to use the Skybreak fist in the high plane. The power is too terrifying. You guys are all from the outer sect. Senior Brother Wang Tai is powerful, and the power of the Bawang Hua is also strong enough, but in terms of the entire God Rare sect, who can compare with Senior Brother Fong? No one. Senior Brother Fong is the #1 disciple of the God Rare sect. He will definitely become the leader of this exchange group, and he will beat up all the other disciples of the 9 major sects at the exchange. Damn, aren't you talking nonsense? Senior Brother Fong has already comprehended the 2nd stage of killing inner space, so even 10 disciples do not have the qualifications to compete with him. The gigantic martial arts arena was filled with people. Today was God Rare Sect's grand occasion. Senior Brother Fong is here. Suddenly, as soon as the voice fell, everyone's eyes turned to the same direction. Shua, a long sword flew out with incomparable speed. A white shadow landed on the flying sword and slowly descended from the sky above the inner sect gate like a god. Senior Brother Fong, Senior Brother Fong, Senior Brother Fong, I love you. It attracted the screams of countless girls. Fong Tianhan was handsome, dressed in a white robe, looking gentle and refined. Listening to the voice in the plaza, the corners of his mouth hooked into a charming smile. Pride. He was extremely pleased with himself. The ignorant girl screamed even louder. The Elders Guild is here. A dozen or so elder of Inner House walked out, with Luo Wanhong as their leader. Seeing Luo Wanhong, Fong Tianhan immediately went forward to welcome him. Hugging his hands, he said, "Welcome, great elder." Luo Wanhong smiled slightly and said, "Tianhan, today is your big day." It was meaningful. Fong Tianhan smiled slightly and said, "It is also a big day for you, great elder." Luo Wanhong laughed. Ha ha ha. He patted Fong Tianhan's shoulders lightly and whispered, "I have prepared a present for you, something better than spirit cleansing pills. With this, you can definitely beat the crap out of those 10 disciples." Finished. Luo Wanhong smiled and walked over. Fong Tianhan's eyes flashed with a ray of light. He became excited. Sect Master has arrived. The entire audience went silent. Zhang Sanqian walked out. Compared to Luo Wanhong's demeanor, he only had 2 attendants by his side. These 2 attendants were still his 2 disciples. Seeing that, Fong Tianhan walked over, but he did not greet them. He only spoke out, "Welcome, Master." Zhang Sanqian took a glance at Fong Tianhan and smiled, then said, "Tianhan, it's been a few days since I last saw you. I heard that your killing inner space has already comprehended the 2nd realm." Fong Tianhan said, "You are already at the middle stage of the 2nd stage. Master, your killing inner space seems to still be at the threshold of the 2nd stage, right?" "Senior Brother, what do you mean?" A follower immediately shouted. Fong Tianhan laughed. Nothing much. I just want to discuss with Master about the killing interspaces comprehension. Master, do you want me to teach you? Fang Tianhan. Another disciple shouted. Fang Tianhan gave a cold laugh and said, "You two trash, wait on the stage. I hope you two trash can give me a nice surprise." Finished. Fang Tianhan then left. A follower said, "Master, why would you—" Zhang Sanqian frowned and did not say a word. Fang Tianhan was already one of the great clan elders' men. He could not give Fang Tianhan what he wanted, so Zhang Sanqian did not blame him, but only himself. Zhang Sanqian walked to the position of sect master, glanced at Luo Wanhong, and felt his heart tighten. In less than 3 months' time, his position was getting weaker and weaker, and now even his own direct disciple dared to humiliate him in public. He was now standing on the edge of the cliff. Zhang Sanqian walked forward and said faintly, "I hope that all of you disciples will give your best in the general election of the sect. Let's begin." At this moment, Luo Wanhong walked out and said, "Sect Master, before the selection competition, Fang Tianhan has something to say." Fang Tianhan walked out. Zhang Sanqian's brows tightened and said, "Whatever it is, we'll talk about it after the sect's general election." Luo Wanhong said, "It's over very quickly." Fang Tianhan also walked over and said loudly, "Today, in front of everyone in the sect, I, Fang Tianhan, will change my master." Finished. Fang Tianhan watched as Zhang Sanqian took out a sword and said, "Sect Master, you gave me this sword, a first-grade steel sword. Did you see that it was about to rust? That's not right. It should be about to break." As soon as he finished speaking, Fang Tianhan used a bit of force in his palm, and the sword broke into two. Then, Fang Tianhan turned and kneeled in front of Luo Wanhong and said, "I, Fang Tianhan, pleads for great clan elder to accept me as your disciple." As soon as he finished, the entire audience was in an uproar, acknowledged the great clan elder as his master. How can Fang Tianhan do that? Why not? The sect master cannot give senior brother Fang what he wants, so of course he would have to join his sect. The great clan elder is not weaker than the sect master. This is bullying your master, exterminating your ancestors. What bullying of my master? This is reality. The reason why senior brother Fang was able to charge into the second stage of the slay intent domain is also because of great elders' help. He is much more important than master. The surroundings were filled with discussion. Some accused him, while others agreed. Humans were very realistic. Zhang Sanqian looked at Fang Tianhan kneeling on the ground, and the expression in his eyes tensed up. At this moment, Zhang Sanqian's two followers rushed up and attacked at the same time, shouting loudly, "Fang Tianhan, you miscreant grandmaster, you ancestral destroyer dog, I'm going to kill you." Fang Tianhan did not move. Luo Wanhong laughed lightly and said, "I will take this disciple of yours. This is my greeting gift to you, Spirit Firmament Divine Sword." Fang Tianhan knelt forward to receive it and said with a heavy tone, "Thank you." At this moment, Zhang Sanqian shouted, "Be careful." Fang Tianhan's mouth hooked up and revealed a gloomy and cold smile and said, "Too late." Chapter 1808, Top Disciple in the Outer Sect. Chapter 1808, Top Disciple in the Outer Sect. The instant the two of them rushed out, Fang Tianhan released his 9 days and 10 places killing space. By the time he realized it, it was too late. Buzz buzz. 2 buzzing sounds could be heard. Zhang Sanqian's 2 disciples immediately floated in midair, unable to move. Killing intent raged. The sword beams swept out. The spirit firmament sword in Fang Tianhan's hand moved, slashing. Boom, boom. The bodies of the two disciples were torn into pieces, exploding in midair, their corpses falling onto the ground. The scene was too horrible to look at. Fang Tianhan sneered. 2 pieces of trash sneak attacked me? You overestimate yourself. He was exceptionally pleased with himself. What he was proud of was not because he had killed Zhang Sanqian's disciple, but because the 9 days and 10 places killing space Zhang Sanqian he had released did not immediately sense it. This meant that the comprehension of this technique was completely above Zhang Sanqian's. This was what he was most proud of. Zhang Sanqian's brows tightly knitted and stared straight at Fang Tianhan and said, "You want to kill him in front of me?" This was no longer a slap in the face. This caused Zhang Sanqian to be stomped on the ground, and he fiercely smacked him with his big mouth. Moreover, it was to slap his face in front of the entire God rare sex disciples, and to be slapped in the face by his own direct disciples, so that he no longer had any face left. Zhang Sanqian clenched his fists tightly, the spirit chi around his body surging and rolling. An extremely strong killing intent was released. His eyes stared wide. Buzz! A roar resounded in the air. It was as if a prehistoric beast had suddenly opened its eyes. The pressure was so great that it seemed to be able to topple mountains and crush seas. Plop! He heavily kneeled on the ground, unable to withstand the impact. Fang Tianhan's face turned pale white. His cultivation could not compare to Zhang Sanqian's, and he was unable to withstand the pressure of his cultivation realm. In the blink of an eye, he was squashed to the ground and knelt down. It was extremely uncomfortable. Fang Tianhan was not happy. He immediately activated the sword intent on his body, slashing the sword in his hand. "Break for me!" Without waiting for his sword to come out, Zhang Sanqian's eyes turned cold. "Bullying master to destroy my ancestors. You still dare to attack me?" Boom! Rumble! The air exploded, and the surrounding powerful energy crazily rushed out, instantly shattering Fang Tianhan's sword strokes and causing his entire body to tremble. Puchi! A mouthful of blood spurted from his mouth. It was also at this time Luo Wanhong smiled, took a step forward, said lightly, "Sect master, don't go too far. He is now my disciple." As soon as he finished, the pressure from Luo Wanhong's body rushed forward and blocked off the pressure on him. Fang Tianhan loosened his body and crawled up from the ground as if he was rushing towards Zhang Sanqian. The anger in his heart surged, and the killing intent that grew in his mind became even stronger. So, what if he was a teacher? So, what if it was the sect leader? Even if they pissed him off, he would still kill them. However, it was stopped by Luo Wanhong. His objective had already been achieved. Zhang Sanqian's face was on the ground. The sect master's prestige had completely disappeared, and in the days to come, it would be difficult for him to even take a single step in God Rare Sect. This was Luo Wanhong's goal. Luo Wanhong stopped Fang Tianhan and said to Zhang Sanqian with a smile, "Sect Master, today is the big day of the God Rare Sect selection competition. You do not want the competition to be impossible, right?" As they spoke, Luo Wanhong took a step further. When the pressure pressed down, it suddenly moved. Buzz! Zhang Sanqian's body trembled slightly. He was extremely shocked in his heart, unable to withstand the strong impact. In such a short period of time, Luo Wanhong's cultivation was already at the same level as his, and maybe even a bit stronger. If they were to start a war, he would die. He was not afraid of death, but he was afraid that the God Rare Sect would be destroyed. Zhang Sanqian's aura retracted. Luo Wanhong smiled lightly and said, "That's more like it." Ha ha ha. Laughing, he walked back to his seat. Fang Tianhan glanced at Zhang Sanqian, revealing a look of contempt. He was utterly cowardly. It was useless. Trash sect leader. Zhang Sanqian's performance was too cowardly. His direct disciple had betrayed him, and his follower had been killed, yet he did not even dare to let out a fart. How could such a grand master lead them? Be it the inner sect disciples or the outer sect disciples, they only worshipped Powerhouse. They don't care if you have good intentions or something like that. They will only respect the Powerhouse and despise the weak. This was reality. Zhang Sanqian let out a light breath, suppressed the anger in his heart, and turned to look at the quiet training grounds, where the scene just now was witnessed by tens of thousands of disciples. He believed it. He might not be able to stay in the God-rare sect for long. Zhang Sanqian laughed bitterly. I'm afraid my only hope now is Long Fei, but in less than 3 months, what can he change? 3 months was too short a time to change anything. However, Zhang Sanqian muttered in his heart, back then, he said he would definitely rush back to the selection competition. He won't be able to make it back in time. That's fine too. That way, he will be able to survive safely. Then, Zhang Sanqian walked to the front of the stage and said, regardless of whether it's the inner sect or outer sect, as long as you have the strength, you can go up on stage to challenge others. The selection competition begins now. As soon as he finished, the crowd did not boil over. It was obvious that they were disappointed in the sect master. The corner of Luo Wanhong's mouth curled up as he smiled. The elders beside him all laughed. Zhang Sanqian, ha ha ha. If you want to fight me, can you fight me? Luo Wanhong felt disdain in his heart. The entire God-rare sect was already in his hands. Before long, he would be the next sect master. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Luo Wanhong laughed crazily with pride in his heart. Outer sect, Wang Tai, challenged the inner sect senior brother, S. And then the ground shook. One of them carried a huge sword on his back. He was nearly 2 meters tall and had a sturdy build. When he walked out, he looked like a small moving mountain, very strong, very domineering. Senior brother Wang Tai challenged the inner sect senior brother S the moment he arrived. He's too awesome. I heard that he has the legendary giant blood vein. Damn, just by the fact that he is standing in front of me, I can already feel the pressure. The impact is too great. The strongest disciple in the outer court. Wang Tai stood on stage and waited quietly. A few seconds later, I'll do it. An inner sect disciple flew out and rushed to the arena, saying, outer sect disciples should be well-behaved and stay in the outer sect. Inner sect is not a place where you can enter just because you wanna. The sword stabbed out. Moreover, it was accompanied by a powerful pressure. Wang Tai stood firmly on the stage. Just as the long sword was about to pierce his body, he raised his right hand. Boom! The palm struck down heavily. Crack! It was like swatting a fly, and was sent flying. Boom! He fell heavily to the ground, fainting. Wang Tai wins. Chapter 1809. Those who reject me do not have a good ending. Chapter 1809. Those who reject me do not have a good ending. One-hit kill. Moreover, a palm strike that was incomparably domineering. And he didn't even use his sword. One had to know that Wang Tai's strongest move was his sword move. It was incomparably thick. The surroundings were completely silent. After a long while, a series of explosions rang out, and everyone within the outer sect shouted out, Wang Tai, Wang Tai, Wang Tai. His voice was deafening. He had heard of Wang Tai before, but didn't expect that it would be beyond his expectations. An old man walked up and said, Wang Tai has won and become an inner disciple. Who wants to challenge him? The God-rare sect selection was somewhat different from the other sect selection. This was free selection. There is no need to sign up. As long as you are strong enough, you can challenge anyone and fight any opponents. If you win one match, you will obtain corresponding points. Disciples with rank in the top 10 rankings could obtain the qualifications to become a 10-sex exchange. Is there anyone else who wants to challenge the war chief Tai? The old man's gaze swept across the entire area as he asked with a smile. The outer sect was silent. No one dared to challenge War Chief Tower, because the previous move already showed that his strength was stronger than some of the inner sect senior brothers, and their outer sect challenges were as good as courting death. At this moment, Luo Wanhong smiled and said, "Seems like no one dares to challenge me. Reward." As soon as he finished, an elder walked up and said, "The great elder has rewarded you." Luo Wanhong replied, 1,000 divine spirit pills, 1 mad bull armor, and 1 mad ox giant sword. Big hand. 1,000 divine spirit pills appeared at once, which was just secondary. The most important thing was that the 2 heavenly soul treasures in front of him were both very sharp, something that could be found but not sought after. Wow, this reward is too generous. Mad bull armor. That's an armor with a defensive strength shield, a heavenly soul treasure. And there's also the Mad Ox giant sword. It's too tempting. Many disciples were discussing. At the same time, many people knew that the great clan elder's so-called reward was to bribe Wang Tai. Zhang Sanqian's expression changed slightly. In this world, money is easy to do. Once you have money, you become willful. Just a casual move would be enough to crush Zhang Sanqian to the point that he couldn't even breathe. No warrior would reject such a reward. Moreover, these 3 things were completely tailored for Wang Tai. With the wild bull armor and the huge sword, his strength would be able to increase by a large level. However, just as everyone was discussing, Wang Tai slightly bowed and said, "Thank you, great clan elder, for your kindness. I don't need these things." Finished. He walked down the ring. Instead of taking the things personally delivered by Elder of Inner House, the entire audience was left speechless. Refusing the reward was equivalent to refusing the elder. This result, needless to say, even a fool would know what it was. Luo Wanhong smiled slightly. Fang Tianhan, who was at the side, immediately said, "Master, do you want me?" Luo Wanhong waved his hand and said, "Young people are a little arrogant, but I have patience." He was actually unhappy. Reject him in public? However, Luo Wanhong was not discouraged. He believed that there was no one in this world who could not live with money. Furthermore, he had money and treasures. 1,000 wouldn't do, then 10,000 pills. I'll smash you to death. The competition continued. Not only was it a competition of martial arts training, there were also a competition of alchemy, refining, and these supporting professions. Similarly, as long as you succeed in the challenge, you will receive the reward you want. As long as you succeed, you will be able to obtain points and obtain the qualifications to enter the 10-sex exchange. Outer sect, Bawanghua, challenged the inner sect senior brother, S. Bawanghua walked to the stage. Go senior sister. Senior sister beat them to a pulp. The mighty senior sister. Bawanghua walked to the stage and stared straight at the inner sect senior brother. Her goal was simple: enter the inner sect. An inner disciple looked at Bawanghwa's impressive figure and laughed. Leave this girl to me. He took a step forward. He rushed forward and landed on the stage, laughing. Junior sister, senior brother is here. Don't worry, I will treat you well. Finished. The man rushed forward and attacked quickly, but at the same time, boom, the Bawanghua disappeared. The man's expression changed as his back turned cold. He looked behind him with the corners of his eyes and didn't even wait for him to react. Dragon roar. Boom. After sending the man flying with a punch, the Bawanghua said coldly, I won't care about you, senior brother. But Wang Hua wins. Are there any inner disciples who came forward to fight? The old man walked out. An elder whispered into Luo Wanhong's ear and said, Great clan elder, he is the woman that Long Fei likes. During this period of time, he has been under our surveillance, and his cultivation has been improving at a rapid pace. Long Fei, is that the brat that Zhang Sanqian placed on me last time? Luo Wanhong had almost forgotten about Long Fei. The elder nodded. Yes. Luo Wanhong looked at Ba Wanghua and said, This female disciple's talent is not bad. No one responded. The old man said, Ba Wanghua has won and is now an inner disciple. Luo Wanhong said again, Reward! Reward! Luo Wanhong said, 5,000 divine spirit pills and 1 set of 1,000 feather fist set. It was another big deal. The 1,000 feather gloves were even better than the berserk cow's 2 sets. He was using money to smash his opponent. Countless disciples were envious of him and worshipped him at the same time. However, the Ba Wanghua said slightly, Thank you for your kindness, great clan elder. I do not need the things. He refused again. Luo Wanhong's face turned ugly. It was fine for one person to reject, but if 2 gifted disciples were to reject, then it would be fine to not put him in their eyes. Or, they have already sided with Zhang Sanqian. Luo Wanhong's eyes slightly narrowed, walked forward, and said, Do you know the consequences of rejecting me? Ba Wanghua was not afraid as he replied, I know. Luo Wanhong said, Then why would you dare? Ba Wanghua said, For Long Fei, I am willing to do anything. Luo Wanhong squinted and said coldly, For Long Fei. And then he walked back to his seat, curled his finger, and said to Fang Tianhan, Trash these people who reject me. Fang Tianhan revealed a cold smile and said, Understood. Challenge failed. Challenge failed. Challenge failed. There was still a huge gap between the strength of the outer sect disciples and inner sect disciples. Other than Wang Tai and Ba Wanghua, practically no outer sect disciple had succeeded in their challenge. On the contrary, there were a few alchemy disciples and weapon refining disciples who succeeded in their challenges. It was just that Mu Bing, Lei Jiao, and the others did not appear in the competition. Suddenly, with a muffled sound, an inner disciple was blasted off the stage. Wang Tai's challenge is successful. Who wants to fight? I accept. Fang Tianhan stood up from his seat. He had a cold smile on his face, and in the blink of an eye, he landed on the stage, stared at Wang Tai, and said, You're dead for sure. Chapter 1810. Heavy Sword Wang Tai. Chapter 1810. Heavy Sword Wang Tai. Senior Brother Fang is making his move for the honor of the inner sect. The battle between the number 1 inner court disciple and the outer court disciple is too exciting, right? What intersects number 1 disciple? Senior Brother Fang is God Rare Sect's number 1 disciple. What does he, Wang Tai, count as? Exactly. Just based on cultivation level alone, Senior Brother is much stronger than Wang Tai. Wang Tai is only at the early stage of the Blue Star Realm, while Senior Brother Fang has already reached the peak of the Blue Star Realm. He's no match for us. The audience below the arena was abuzz with discussion. Zhang Sanqian looked at Luo Wanhong and said, Great Elder, Wang Tai's talent is not bad and can completely represent the God Rare Sect to the 10 sects exchange. I'm afraid that it's not good for you to do this, right? Luo Wanhong laughed. What should I do? Zhang Sanqian said, For God Rare Sect's sake, you have to stop Fang Tianhan. Luo Wanhong said, Stop. Why did you stop me? Those that I cannot use are all my enemies. My disciple, help me clean up my enemies. Why should I stop you? Ha ha ha. Zhang Sanqian bellowed. He is a disciple of the god Rare sect, not your enemy. Luo Wanhong laughed. If I say he is my enemy, then he is my enemy. Sect master, if you want to save him, then you should send out an even stronger disciple. He sneered. A gleeful sneer appeared on his face. He was very clear that Zhang Sanqian did not have a single disciple that he could send out. The only person he could send out was most likely himself. There was already no one by Zhang Sanqian's side. In the arena, Fang Tianhan looked at Wang Tai coldly and said, "There is only one outcome for those who go against the great clan elder, die. I'll give you a chance now. Kneel down and beg for forgiveness for great elder. The reward that great elder gave you will not change. Remember, this is your only chance. Kneel." Fang Tianhan bellowed. Wang Tai acted as if he didn't hear it and slowly untied the heavy sword on his back. The heavy sword was wrapped with a somewhat old and worn-out piece of cloth. In the instant it was released, the heavy sword dropped to the ground. Bam! A loud sound rang out, and the ground cracked, causing the entire arena to shake. Moreover, with the great sword as the center, the arena shook off the heavy dust. Everyone was shocked. How heavy is this sword? A few 100 pounds, right? I really don't think I have ever seen senior brother, Wang Tai, using a sword. I've never seen him use the sword. I really want him to carry the sword on his back ever since he entered the god Rare sect, and have never unsheathed it. What kind of sword is it? Everyone was discussing. When Wang Tai removed the torn cloth that was wrapped around the sword, Puchi. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Many of the inner disciples laughed out loud. Can this even be called a sword? Isn't this just a piece of rusty scrap iron? I'm dying of laughter. He can be called a sword just like that. Has it been on my back for too long? Was it corroded by the sweat? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Many people began to loudly laugh at him. The sword he unsheathed was a thick piece of iron that was covered in rust. However, no one noticed that on his back. The moment he unsheathed the heavy sword, a row of long bones went back into his body, just like a sword rack on his back. This is your sword. Fang Tianhan laughed coldly in a daze and said, I really don't understand. How can a poor martial artist like you reject the great clan elder? Kneel. Fang Tianhan was filled with disdain. If the great clan elder did not ask him to make a move, he would not even bother to fight with Wang Tai, because he felt that Wang Tai did not have the qualifications to do so. Wang Tai was like a big stone as she gently said, Please. The corner of Fang Tianhan's eyes went cold. You're courting death. Shua. The sword stabbed out. Moreover, his speed was as fast as lightning, his figure constantly changing, all the surrounding pressure crazily pressing forward, directly surrounding Wang Tai. Sword intent raged. He's going to lose. Wang Tai is not his match at all. One strike. Senior brother Fang was able to defeat Wang Tai with a single sword strike. The difference in power is too great. Everyone began to discuss. At this moment, in the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint, a sword intent shot out from the arena, and the two swords clashed. Buzz. Flames flew in all directions. The rusted broadsword in Wang Tai's hand actually blocked the sword in Fang Tianhan's hand, and only shattered a bit of iron, and Fang Tianhan's arm shook a little as the power behind the heavy sword far exceeded what he had expected. Moreover, the weight of this sword was beyond his imagination. He blocked it. He actually blocked the sword. Seems like this piece of scrap is quite useful. Ha! Whoosh! Fang Tianhan slightly moved his body, his expression turning serious as he said, I have underestimated you. But after this, you will experience the taste of the 9 heavens and Earth's absolute murder sword intent. Buzz. As soon as he finished, the sword intent from Fang Tianhan's body rolled out like a tsunami. Wang Tai instantly entered into a space that looked like an illusion and swept his eyes across it. Country Bumpkin. This is the 9 days and 10 places killing space, the second realm. Being able to die here is the greatest honor of your life. Kill. The sword concept danced in the air arrogantly as killing intent surged towards Wang Tai, who was at the center point. The sword in Wang Tai's hand trembled. At this moment, Wang Tai held onto the sword with both of his hands and shook it heavily. Rumble! Rumble! Killing inner space cracked. The gigantic sword in Wang Tai's hand slashed out consecutively, but as he slashed continuously, Fang Tianhan attacked continuously. Everything was happening in the killing inner space, as if it was a battle of consciousness. In just a minute, the two had already unleashed more than 300 moves. Boom! Suddenly, Wang Tai's body that was suspended in the air exploded. Its enormous body immediately flew out, along with the rusted greatsword in his hand. Clang! He landed on the ground. Bam! Wang Tai's body was smashed down the stage. Blood hung from the corner of his mouth. His face was pale white, but he did not die. Buzz! On the stage, Fang Tianhan was also panting, and his hair was in a mess. His arms were still trembling as he stared at Wang Tai, who was standing below the stage, and bellowed, "You dog, you dare yell at me? I will kill you." Sick, very unhappy. He is Fang Tianhan. He was the #1 disciple of the God Rare sect, the super genius of the 10 rating gift. His cultivation was above Wang Tai, but, however, he was beaten numb by Wang Tai, and his killing inner space almost ruptured. To him, this was like a humiliation, adding on the inner demon that was acting up inside his mind. A bloody light flashed across Fang Tianhan's eyes. His body moved, and he thrust it towards Wang Tai's forehead. "I want you dead." Zhang Sanqian shouted loudly, "Fang Tianhan, stop it right now." The pressure was like a mountain. It crashed down heavily. However, Zhang Sanqian's position was too far away from the stage. Even if his pressure could easily crush Fang Tianhan, the distance between them, distance was a hard injury. Too late. The corner of Luo Wanhong's mouth curled into a disdainful sneer, just as Zhang Sanqian's long sword pierced downwards. Boom! A flame shot out. A fire dragon roared. A flaming blade blocked Fang Tianhan's sword. Chapter 1811, Flame Slash. Chapter 1811, Flame Slash Boom. The fire dragon roared and roared. It was burning crazily. The spirit firmament sword seemed to be unable to endure it any longer. The blazing flames continued to pounce forward. Fang Tianhan's eyes were filled with anger. He bellowed out, "Who is it? Who dares to stop me?" His sword could no longer move, and he was unable to kill Wang Tai. At this moment, there was a commotion behind the crowd. The crowd slowly dispersed, and a person walked out from behind the crowd. "Long Fei. Long Fei is back. It's Long Fei. It's that Long Fei who killed the great clan elder. I heard that he escaped. Isn't this the nominal disciple Long Fei? He still dares to come back." As the discussions broke out, everyone looked at him. Ba Wanghua laughed, and tears started streaming down his face. He was unable to control himself. LV Shuangchuan let out a light sigh. "AI, what's the point? You even ran away. Why did you come back to throw away your life?" Wang Tai turned his face and looked at Long Fei, who was in the midst of the crowd. Just now, it was Long Fei who saved him. He saw that Long Fei only wanted to remember Long Fei, because in his family, whoever saved him was his master. Zhang Sanqian suddenly stood up, his heart tensing up. He had rushed back before the selection competition, and Long Fei was really back. However, his heart was not happy at all, but instead worried. Right now, he was different from 2 months ago when he was able to protect Long Fei. He couldn't keep it anymore. Why are you back? Zhang Sanqian sighed softly. Luo Wanhong smiled slightly. Sect Master, I think you're not happy that he's back. Zhang Sanqian did not answer. Luo Wanhong laughed. I am very happy. One of the clan elders immediately said, killing inner sect disciples. Elders, outer door presbyter, disciple, Long Fei should have made a decision. Someone come. Here. A few elite disciples walked out. Luo Wanhong slightly raised his hand and said, Don't be anxious. This little mouse is slowly playing. Is that so? Sect Master. Long Fei returned. This time he would definitely not let him escape. He wanted to play with Long Fei to death in front of Zhang Sanqian and let him lose his last hope. That was it. After that elder left, Luo Wanhong looked at Long Fei, who was in the distance with a smile on his face, and said coldly, If you are going against me, you will know what regret is. When Fang Tianhan saw Long Fei, he was more excited than anyone else. The first thing he did after entering closed-door training for a month was to look for Long Fei, but Long Fei had already escaped the God Rare sect, so he thought that he would never be able to step on Long Fei in his entire life. Now, Long Fei appeared right in front of him, and he smiled. Fang Tianhan looked at Long Fei and said, You dog, I never thought you would actually dare to come back. Last time you ran away. This time, let's see where else you can run to. Long Fei laughed. Who escaped last time? Who kneels on the ground and almost piss out of fear? You're courting death. Fang Tianhan's eyes were brimming with anger. He was exceptionally furious. Last time was the most humiliating time of his life. He hated it. He also swore that he would break Long Fei's neck. Long Fei laughed. I am here to seek death. You want to bite me? Yet another movement. Shua. After collecting the fire dragon knife, he coldly looked at the boss in the distance. Long Fei heavily swallowed his saliva and thought to himself, Boss, you've waited for me for a good 2 months. Wang Tai looked at Long Fei and said, You are not his match. Long Fei retracted his gaze, looked at Wang Tai, who was on the ground, and said, You are also not his opponent, but you still took the challenge. Wang Tai said in a low voice, My celestial Qilin family is never afraid of war. His voice was not loud, but when many people heard the words Heavenly Qilin King's family, an old man's eyes widened in shock as he stared at Wang Tai with an aghast expression. Celestial Qilin royal family? Are you a bandit? He is a bandit. Sky Qilin royal family. Wang Tai's identity had always been a mystery. No one knew where he came from, and no one knew his identity. However, the celestial Qilin prince's family was enough to explain everything. He was a bandit. This was because the heavenly Qilin king's family was located on the other side of the Devil Island, and it did not belong to the Devil Island. He was a bandit, and would never be able to leave the banished land, because this was the Devil Island. No one could get out. Long Fei didn't know what Sky Qilin royal family was, what was considered as a bandit. He simply felt that this big bloke, Wang Tai, was a bit like Yuan Ba. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, I, Long Fei, am fearless. Ha ha ha. Fear nothing. Later, you will kneel in front of me and beg for my life. Fang Tianhan glanced at Wang Tai and said, I'll come take care of you later. I'm going to kill you in front of everyone, right now. Ling Xiao's sword moved, pointing at Long Fei. At the same time, with a step, his body gently landed on the stage. He laughed in disdain. Long Fei, come up and die. Long Fei was not anxious. He walked over to Wang Tai's side and helped him up. At this moment, Ba Wanghua also ran over and hugged Long Fei tightly in his embrace, disregarding everything else. He shook his head and said, "Long Fei, don't go up." LV Shuangchuan also said, "You are not his opponent. Up, up, up. Long Fei, keep to your words. Go up, and throw away your life. Hurry up, you useless nominal disciple. Go." Many people started to clamor. Many people wanted to see Long Fei die under Fang Tianhan's sword. Luo Wanhong smiled lightly and said, "Sect Master, do you think that my disciple will win, or is it because he's your disciple in name that you think so highly of him? The Sect Master is so special to actually have his eyes on such a trash disciple. Ha ha ha. There's a saying that goes, all things gather as one." The few elders began to mock him. Long Fei laughed. "Don't worry, I will be fine." Finished. Long Fei slowly walked up the stage and said, "What kind of rules are these? If I win, can I challenge anyone?" Ha ha ha. Fang Tianhan laughed out loud. "Win? You dog, do you think you will win?" Long Fei did not look at Fang Tianhan, but looked at the group of elders instead. An elder said, "If you win, you can challenge anyone." Long Fei asked, "Can you also issue a challenge to the great clan elder?" "How dare you?" One of the elders immediately stood up and shouted, "Brat, are you tired of living?" Luo Wanhong laughed blandly. "You can, but the prerequisite is that you have to win against Fang Tianhan in order to have the qualification to challenge me. Do you think that you can win against Fang Tianhan?" Long Fei said, "One is not interesting. Can I challenge 5 elders at the same time? I heard that the God Rare sect has a rule that if I win, I sit in the opponent's position." "You overestimate yourself." "How arrogant. He actually challenged 5 people." Luo Wanhong laughed. "That's right." His smile was filled with killing intent. Long Fei laughed and said, "The great clan elder's seat is mine now." Chapter 1812. The 5 Great Elders. Chapter 1812. The 5 Great Elders arrogant. Extremely savage. He did not put any of these people in his eyes, nor Luo Wanhong in his eyes. Arrogant, arrogant. Long Fei's words had enraged all the inner and outer sect disciples. They all stared at him with incomparable fury, as if they had a deep grudge against him, because Long Fei was weak. The weak saying such words was simply overestimating themselves. Long Fei swept a glance across the entire audience, but he did not take it seriously, and only laughed coldly. At this moment, Fang Tianhan moved the sword in his hand. Wang! The killing intent of the 9 heavens and 10 earth rushed towards Long Fei like a mad tide. Fang Tianhan said coldly, "Long Fei, you are nothing but an ant. Die!" A sword pierced towards Long Fei, and all of his power surged. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. Ba Wanghua shouted loudly, "Long Fei, be careful! He's going to die. He's definitely going to die. How could he possibly be a match for senior brother Fang? A nominal disciple dares to come up on stage? What a joke! You're courting death." A faint smile still remained on Long Fei's face, as if he didn't feel any danger approaching him. Indeed, in the past, maybe Fang Tianhan could hurt him. But now, Long Fei was unafraid. Are the killing intents of the 9 heavens and 10 great earth very strong? Is very strong? The sword is very strong? It's just trash. Go start. The movement of Long Fei's idea consumed 100,000 points. Buzz. A ghost that no one else could see climbed up from the ground. A skeleton frame with torn clothes, just like a skeleton ghost. But its strength, however, could not be underestimated. Hold his feet. The skeleton sunk into the ground, and at the moment Fang Tianhan rushed over, a pair of hands extended out from the ground and bound his legs tightly. At this time, Long Fei's body sank, his two hands holding onto his blade, with spirit power pouring in, surging forth. Roar! The fire dragon was roaring. Long Fei took a step forward. All of this is just a small stumbling block to me. Die for me. Flame slash. Shwa. The divine power burst forth, and golden light shot out in all directions. A fire dragon shot up into the sky, forming an incomparably powerful fire dragon blade chi. Rumble! With a loud noise, Long Fei's cultivation was activated. Blue Star Realm. The ancient dragon buff's attack was glowing with a golden light. At this moment, everyone was shocked. They all looked at Long Fei, with their mouths agape. Fang Tianhan struggled crazily as he raised his head to look at the sky. Ah! Great Elder, save me, save me! Luo Wanhong ignored him. Fang Tianhan looked at Zhang Sanqian and shouted, Master, I was wrong, I was wrong. Save me, save me, save me. Zhang Sanqian also did not bother about him. Rumble! The flames chopped down. Fang Tianhan's body was split into two. His body was still burning. The tens of thousands of points of HP above his head directly went to the bottom. With one slash, he was killed. The ghost spirit art was a secret technique of the Ghost King. On the way back to the god Rare Sect, Long Fei had been constantly researching, and now his ghost spirit art had reached level 2. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Fang Tianhan for obtaining 30,000 experience, 3,000 holy power value, 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 9 days and 10 places killing space. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Spirit Firmament Sword. Long Fei didn't even look at it. Fusion! The 9 days and 10 places killing space is indeed very strong, but this cultivation technique was only left to god Rare Sect by his mother, and the one he cultivated was far stronger than any of the 9 heavens and 10 earth. Thus, he was dismissive. On the stage, S body was still being burned. Not a single sound came out from the entire martial arts arena. Everyone was looking at Long Fei. He was so shocked that he couldn't make a sound. After a long time, Ba Wanghua laughed. Ha ha ha. His laughter was a little unrestrained, and his tears flowed down. LV Shuangchuan clenched his fists tightly and growled out loudly, F***CK. You are truly awesome. Wang Tai's eyes also slightly tightened and said, so powerful. Walala. After a long period of silence, it suddenly erupted. The entire martial arts practice grounds boiled over. What just happened? It's too fast. The number 1 disciple of the god Rare Sect was actually killed by a nominal disciple in an instant. Tell me, all of this is just an illusion. How is this possible? That's impossible. At that time, Fang Tianhan could not move a muscle. What happened? His cultivation is already at the Blue Star Realm. 3 months ago, he was still at the God Realm. In just 3 months, he would become a Blue Star powerhouse. How is that possible? Is he a monster? Discussions broke out. No one could understand how Long Fei killed Fang Tianhan. It was too fast, too fast. Just as everyone was discussing nonstop, Long Fei took a step forward, looked at Luo Wanhong, and asked, Can I issue a challenge now? As soon as his voice faded, the entire audience immediately quietened down, and everyone looked at Long Fei. What does he want to do? Don't tell me this kid is really challenging the Great Elder. Is he crazy? Great Elder is a powerhouse of the Red Star Realm. He could easily crush powerhouse of the Blue Star Realm. Too arrogant. Luo Wanhong stood up and walked forward, a smile on his face as he said, "Long Fei, you are very powerful. I think very highly of you." If you defeat Fang Tianhan, who is now God Rare Sect's #1 disciple, you will receive my special reward for you. Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei asked, "Spirit Firmament Sword." Finished. Long Fei took out the sword and threw it down the stage. Trash. The Ling Xiao sword was Luo Wanhong's master's gift to Fang Tianhan, but Long Fei treated it as trash. It was like slapping his face. An elder's face was filled with anger, but he was stopped by Luo Wanhong and said, "The Spirit Firmament Sword is indeed trash, and it is not compatible with your identity at all." Long Fei asked, "Do you have a holy artifact?" Luo Wanhong's gaze tensed up. Holy artifact? How rare would it be to be a holy artifact in Devil Island? There were only a few in the entire God Rare sect, so Long Fei asked for holy artifactus. Luo Wanhong was speechless. The angry clan elder shouted, "Long Fei, who do you think you are? Do you think you are invincible in this world just by killing Fang Tianhan? Are you still delusional enough to want holy artifact? Who do you think you are? A piece of trash like you. I can kill 5 with one hand." Quite a few elders shouted. Luo Wanhong could not take out the holy artifact, and even if he had one, he would not give it to Long Fei. "Long Fei, you have to think about the consequences of going against me. Your people are in my hands. If I order them, they will all die." Suddenly, Long Fei squinted. He hated being threatened the most in this life. Furthermore, he hated it when others threatened him with those around him. Long Fei revealed an ice-cold smile and said, You, and you, great elder, I want to challenge the 5 of you." Chapter 1813, Mad Instant Killer. Chapter 1813, Mad Instant Killer. The fire dragon knife in his hands pointed over one by one. Finally, the god-slaying saber was pointed at Luo Wanhong. Very arrogant. The entire audience was in an uproar. "Since you want to die, I'll grant your wish." An elder wielded his sword and instantly landed on the arena. Long Fei said, "There are 4 more people." Whoosh, whoosh, with 3 consecutive sounds. The 3 clan elders all landed at the same time, staring at Long Fei with fury in their eyes. Long Fei did not have the slightest bit of fear as he faintly smiled. "There's still one more." Luo Wanhong stared at Long Fei and said, "You could have died, but now you are dead for sure." Boom! A powerful aura exploded, and a red divine force was released, quickly rushing forth and hovering in the air above the stage. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "Everyone is here." Everyone was here. 5 elders. Their fighting strength was extraordinary. Similarly, every one of the 5 most powerful elders of the God Rare sect were all in the Red Star realm, with the 5 of them working together, not to mention a Blue Star realm warrior. Even the current sect Master Zhang Sanqian could easily crush them. The 5 of them were also the people Zhang Sanqian feared the most. Of course, to Long Fei, the 5 of them, they were all bosses. Every boss was glowing with a golden light, especially the Great Elder, who was covered in a golden light. He had spent more than 2 months training just to kill this boss. Now he was standing in front of him. Long Fei wasn't afraid. He was just excited. The incomparable excitement. His metamorphic energy value was unable to endure the thirst. On the way back, Long Fei filled his metamorphic energy value up completely for the sake of the boss Luo Wanhong. At this moment, Zhang Sanqian also moved forward and landed in the air above the stage, and said, "Long Fei, stand down, don't mess around." Luo Wanhong raised his eyes and stared at Zhang Sanqian. "The one who is retreating should be you, Luo Wanhong." Zhang Sanqian shouted. Luo Wanhong was also enraged and said, "Zhang Sanqian." He was furious. He had never been humiliated like this before. A mere nominal disciple dared to be so impudent in front of him. Was he trying to overturn the heavens? Zhang Sanqian said, "Luo Wanhong, he is God Rare Sect's hope. Can't you consider him for a bit? You want the sect leader's position. I'll give it to you." Long Fei could not die. Xia Qiyuan had predicted correctly. Long Fei could really save the God Rare Sect. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Sanqian had actually used the position of sect master to protect Long Fei. Luo Wanhong's eyes flashed with a bright light. He looked at Zhang Sanqian seriously and started to laugh crazily. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Sanqian. "Oh, Zhang Sanqian, you actually took the position of sect master to protect a nominal disciple. I really did not expect this." Zhang Sanqian said, "As long as you are willing to let him go, I am willing to give up my position." Many elders smiled gleefully. Many disciples revealed looks of shock. To protect a nominal disciple in the highest position of the God Rare Sect was something that made them very disappointed, because that was not something a sect master should do. Luo Wanhong laughed out loud. I can let him go, but isn't the position of sect master too small?" Zhang Sanqian said, "What else do you want?" Luo Wanhong said straightforwardly, "I want you to kneel down for me." Boom! The air rumbled as a powerful aura burst forth with an explosive sound. Zhang Sanqian was extremely angry. Luo Wanhong laughed complacently and said, "Isn't it normal for Zhang Sanqian to kneel to sect master? I have knelt down for you 36 times. Now kneel down for me, and I will spare his life." This was a humiliation to Zhang Sanqian, a severe humiliation. Zhang Sanqian frowned, his fists clenched tightly. Seeing Zhang Sanqian's angry look, Luo Wanhong was excited and said, "Kneel." Many of the surrounding elders shouted in a deep voice, "Kneel." Many of the great elders' supporters shouted, "Kneel." His voice was deafening. Many disciples were dumbfounded. As long as Zhang Sanqian kneeled down, he would lose all face. Zhang Sanqian's fists loosened slightly, and his body bent down slightly. At this moment, Long Fei suddenly asked, "Can the challenge begin?" A few clan elders stared at Long Fei in unison. "Is he courting death? Kid, are you tired of living?" Zhang Sanqian looked at Long Fei and said, "Long Fei, don't mess around." Luo Wanhong smiled and said, "Don't worry. Before you kneel down to me, he will be safe. I won't kill him." Long Fei had become his best bargaining chip. He never thought that Zhang Sanqian would actually give up the seat for him, for Long Fei, and even kneel down. This was something that he had been dreaming about for a long time. Long Fei did not look at them, but asked again, "Can the challenge begin?" Luo Wanhong laughed. "Zhang Sanqian, you better kneel down quickly, or else this brat is going to die. My patience is not good." Long Fei asked for the third time, "Can the challenges begin?" The four elders were displeased. Luo Wanhong was also annoyed. His gaze shifted. Luo Wanhong said, "If you want to die, I'll grant you that wish. Kill him." As soon as his words fell, the four elders made their moves at the same time, and System Beep S also appeared in Long Fei's mind at this instant. Ding! Target locked. Ding! Target locked. Ding! Target locked. A total of 5 notifications sounded. Super Hurricane Burst Boxing was able to kill 5 people at once, and 5 notifications meant that 5 people were going to die. Long Fei's fists sank as the corner of his mouth rose slightly, and he said, "I can't wait anymore. Bring it on." Boom. His arm started to heat up, and the dragon-shaped mark S under his shoulder flashed out a light. Boom. Boom. Both of his arms were scarlet red, and a powerful energy surged. The moment the 4 elders' attacks landed, Long Fei shouted, "Super Hurricane Burst Boxing. All of you die." His fists were like cannons as they blasted towards the sky. 5 streaks of light flew out like a tracking missile. Boom. Smashing into an elder. The elder's body suddenly exploded, and the amount of blood on his head fell to the bottom. Instant kill. Ding. The system sounded out. Long Fei did not care what kind of treasure he dropped. It was only a small boss. Nothing good came out of it. Boom. Another stream of light struck one of the elders, and the elder's body instantly exploded. Ding. Another beautiful system beep sound rang out. Boom, boom. Ding. Ding. The bodies of the 4 elders exploded in an instant like fireworks. The sky exploded, and a rain of blood rained down. Everyone present was dumbfounded. Luo Wanhong was even more shocked. His body was trembling because a streak of light descended from the sky, shooting towards his head. Luo Wanhong was scared. He shook his head and said, "No, no." In that instant, he turned around and ran out. Long Fei grinned. "We won't be able to escape." Chapter 1814, Akalanatha Inferno / Chapter 1814, Akalanatha Inferno / the system has locked onto you. You want to escape. Dream on. As long as they were blasted out, as long as they were locked onto, even if they escaped into hell, they would still be killed. Because this is the blasting fist. The moment Luo Wanhong escaped, the flowing light descended and smashed onto the top of Luo Wanhong's head, not giving him any time to react. Rumble! His head exploded. His HP instantly bottomed out. Instant kill. Long Fei closed his eyes and became excited. He thought, "Explode, ha ha ha." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Great Elder Luo Wanhong for obtaining 20,000 experience, 20,000 holy power value, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Mysterious God Pill x 10,000 and 86 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Spirit Charging Pills plus 10. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Frenzied Bull's Armor, Frenzied Bull's Sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1,000 Feather Gloves. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Myriad King Fist Technique. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Blazing Sky Blade Art. You wish to learn it? Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei and his bodyguard, Xiao Yin, for leveling up. The system beep could not stop. This sound was too wonderful. It was like a symphony playing in a musical opera house. However, a lot of things dropped, but Long Fei could only use it once. What should he use it on? This was very troublesome. Finally, Long Fei looked at the Sky Flame blade art and said slightly, "I now need a set of blade technique." Then, Sky Flame blade art infused into the metamorphic energy value. Ding. Are you sure? Yes, sir. Ding. System notification. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Akalanatha blade art. Do you wish to cultivate it? Rob. Akalanatha Infernal King. Abnormal enough, crazy enough, ha ha ha. Long Fei was extremely excited that Akalanatha Inferno was a skill from the DNF, although it was released using the sword, but it was not a technique that was used. Long Fei liked sabers more, because sabers were the strongest amongst weapons, which was why they could display such an arrogant and domineering aura. Very good. Long Fei moved. Cultivate. Ding. Congratulations to player. Long Fei for training Akalanatha Blade Art for obtaining 100 experience, 100 God Power, and 1 special reward from energy values. Fire Dragon Knife combined with Akalanatha Slash. He should be able to hold back. Dead. Grand Elder is dead. The other 4 elders are all dead. Moreover, a single punch was enough to instantly kill him. This. After a long while, the people from Martial Arts Arena finally reacted. They looked at Long Fei in a daze, staring at the monster in front of them, and actually killed the great clan elder in an instant. Shock. It was an indescribable shock. Long Fei! Long Fei! Long Fei! Suddenly, the Ba Wanghua gently called out Long Fei's name. LV Shuangchuan followed and shouted. Wang Tai followed and shouted, Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. And then all of the disciples of the entire God rare sect started shouting, Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. His voice shook the heavens, resounding through the universe. This is the world of the powerhouse. You don't need to say anything or do anything. As long as you become the powerhouse, everyone will treat you with respect. The great clan elder was very strong. Fang Tianhan was very strong. But all dead. They all died to Long Fei. Thus, Long Fei was stronger than them. In the end, everyone in the God Rare sect shouted out Long Fei's name. Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. A battle to fame. Zhang Sanqian laughed. It was the first time in many years that she had smiled so comfortably. The next day, Sect Master Zhang Sanqian's courtyard. From time to time, elders would come to express their loyalty and despise Luo Wanhong. People are like that. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Naturally, they would choose to regroup. Zhang Sanqian did not reject any of them because he knew that the current God Rare sect could no longer withstand any form of injury. Otherwise, he would have ruptured his sect without even going to the 10 sects exchange. He didn't want to be a sinner. The hall was filled with elders. An elder said, Sovereign, the name list for yesterday's selection has been released. 6 people from the outer sect have succeeded in challenging the inner sect disciples. Also, the top 10 disciples, according to the rules, have also come out. The elder handed it over. Zhang Sanqian looked at the list and said slightly, This year, who will be the leader? One of the elders immediately said, Of course, it's definitely Long Fei. He is the hope of our God Rare sect S. With him there, we will definitely be able to instantly crush other sects. What bullsh asterisk T10 disciples, adding together, they are not a match for Long Fei. That's right. Long Fei is too strong. 10 disciples will definitely become a joke. Ha ha ha. Many of the elders began to laugh. Zhang Sanqian also faintly smiled and said, With Long Fei here, even if all of 10 disciples added up together, they still wouldn't be his match. Then, for Long Fei to be the leader, all the elders do not have any objections, right? No. They had all seen Long Fei's strength before. Who could match him? Furthermore, Zhang Sanqian was using the position of sect master to protect Long Fei, so Long Fei was definitely a member of the sect master. He didn't dare to. All right, then let Long Fei do it, Zhang Sanqian said. Without waiting for him to finish, a golden-robed old man slowly walked into the hall. A few young disciples followed behind the old man, and each of them had an exceptionally strong aura. The old man coldly said, I have an objection. Outer sect, Long Fei's desolate grass courtyard. Rushing spirit pill, take the mad bull armor. Long Fei threw the 2 items back to Wang Tai and said, "Your current cultivation is not as good as yours. If you want to defeat those 10 disciples in 10 sex exchange, you have to work even harder." How strong was the 10 disciples? Long Fei wasn't very clear, but he was clear on just how strong Nie Lin was. She was only ranked 3rd. How strong were the first 2? It was hard to imagine. If he wanted to behead the disciples of 10 sects, he had to first step over them. Wang Tai looked at Long Fei, and after a moment of hesitation, he did not reject, and immediately kept it, directly taking the spirit-charging pill and consuming it. He did not say anything. Long Fei said, "There is still the wild cow giant sword here, but it's not worth mentioning compared to the sword on your back. Doggy, I'm giving it to you." The lackey was LV Shuangchuan. He grinned and said, "Thank you, boss. In addition, there is a spirit cleansing pill here. You can take it as well. As for the details, you can decide for yourself." Long Fei gave him another pill. Long Fei looked at Bawanghua and said, "You must also take the Spirit Rush pill and quickly break through your cultivation." Bawanghua nodded heavily and said, "Amen." Long Fei said, "Our target is the 10 sex exchange." At this moment, a outer door presbyter ran over and said, "Long Fei, something happened." You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.